Received. I'm just filling in the gate now.
How is everyone doing? Nice to see you all. Welcome
Where's
in.
GC1?
Hello.
I'm in the PD car park. Hello, you right?
Don't ask about the car.
Wow.
It's a long story. It was legally seized. Somebody get rid of it now.
We'll be on our way to NHS
Alright.
very soon.
Can we head to a briefing room? We've got a
yeah, no
fuckload to tell you.
Sounds good.
Oh god. How are you otherwise?
Very well, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good stuff, good stuff. Let's just check on this gentleman.
Oh, yeah, I need to eat some.
Right.
Hello, mate, you right?
Hi, not too bad. My name's Sam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
I'm going to be honest, I wish it was under better circumstances. I found out that during a interview I had that led to me being incarcerated into your fine establishment down the road there.
Right.
That
right, so you can't
lied to me during my interview about someone else pleading guilty to the charge that he told me they pleaded guilty to.
Right.
And also, I would like to get my work equipment back out of this in your evidence locker at the minute, but I need it back for work. Is that at all possible or not?
Right. Okay. So just brief me on your name again, please.
My name's Sam Crow, buddy. I did try the front door, but it was locked, so I thought I'd walk around here see if I see anyone.
Okay. Bear me a second.
Not a problem, buddy. Got no issue with you. Just making that perfectly clear. Just a bit upset about the whole situation, to be honest with you.
So, what was the situation that how was you lied to? Sorry.
Well, they told me that the my friend that I'd not long met, to be honest with you. She apparently pleaded guilty to both charges that I was accused of at the same time, and then in the end they decided they were going to put me down for what did they put me down for? Trying to help basically a felon. And I was, as I said numerous times in my interview, which was obviously recorded for both purposes, that I was unaware of any situation of this type, and they told me she pleaded guilty to try and get me to plead guilty at the same time. And the only reason they got a guilty plead out of me was just to get the reduced sentence, to be honest with you, and I told him that as well at the time. Because I haven't done what I was accused of at the time of the arrest.
Okay, sir. And what is it you're looking to get back?
To be honest with you, just me tools. Me wrench and me lockpick. I need them for work.
You're wrenching your lockpick.
I work at the custom shop.
Right. Okay. Bear me a second. I can't seem to find. It doesn't look like wrenching a lockpick has been taken from yourself. According to the. That's fine. But obviously, on the other hand, your two friends that you say that obviously.
No, my one friend.
One
person.
Okay, there was two people that there was three people that were arrested.
I'm unaware of the third.
Okay, well, who's your friend? Your friend Charlotte. Okay, that's correct. Your friend did plead guilty. That's correct. So she pleaded guilty to.
Taking without consent.
Yeah, they told me she pleaded guilty to trying to steal a car, and for trying to rob a house. tried to get my back up against the wall, to be honest with you. And they had no evidence of either. No evidence.
Okay, the best thing to do, what I'll do, I'll try and find the officer in question, and obviously get him to come down and clear it up for you, okay?
Yeah,
you just stand by.
All I'm after more than anything is just me tools back so I can actually do some work.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I say, on the system, I can't seem to find your tools being processed. So if you just bear with me, and I'll get you sorted, okay?
Not a
I
problem.
believe it was CID that dealt with that one.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll have a look.
Alright.
Delta 3. Delta 3, you receiving?
He's just currently in cells at the minute, sir.
Right, okay. I've got a Sam Crow that's come to the front desk asking for his gear back. I've just checked it. It's due to from a burglary, saying that he was tried to be processed for burglary, but was ill-advised at the time. He's come to look to get his stuff back, but on the MDT, doesn't appear that anything else was seized other than a bong and some weed.
On what, sorry, sir?
If you have a look at MDT reports, stand by. Report 141. The gentleman here, Sam Crow, has come to speak to PD about the incident. Apparently, his friend was told his friend pleaded guilty for burglary, but according to him, they wasn't, and he's come to get some lockpick back and stuff like that. But they've not been added to the MDT. So if you could do us a favour when you're free, come down into the reception.
Just tell me what the crime number again was, Sammy.
141. Sam Crow.
His lockpick was just taken off him
Yeah,
because he was involved in a burglary. I didn't log it because it was seized off him. It wasn't any evidence to say that he suggested that he robbed the place.
They were
It
used
said to
in
me that he used
a
it.
burglary, and he admitted guilty to it just on the lesser time. I'm still not convinced that he wasn't. There is evidence and dashcam footage of him leaving the property. So I'm gonna leave it. For myself personally, I would say that he won't be getting them items back.
For the changes and stuff. What do you mean for the changes?
I do have the
evidence if you want to look out of it.
Or what's
I
different?
was the officer that searched him. I did seize that lockpick off him because we couldn't determine if he was the one that broke into the property. Bella admitted that she was the one who broke in first. So
She
that's why
also
I
privately
seized the
called
lockpick.
me as well, by the way, and said that apparently PD took
Yeah.
money out of her bank. No idea what she was
Money
on
out of
about.
a
I
bank?
was
That's 'cause
flying
she's
a
fine.
That's
helicopter.
probably been fined. That would have been
Yeah.
fine.
I was
Got
flying a
NHS
helicopter,
at the
so I
front
couldn't
desk
speak to her.
asking for CID.
Oh, what the fuck?
Delta
They're
3,
down
do you
in
need
the,
CID?
they're down in the cells at the
CID,
moment
sorry, do
processing
you need
apparently.
NHS and you're in the cells?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. If you could take him down for us, please, Eddie. They need him in the cells. Thank you.
Yeah, so I took the I took and seized the lockpick off him because he's
Hey,
involved in it. I
William.
didn't put it down because he said and he wasn't the one that wasn't the one that used it. So I
Right.
seized it off him because that's obviously if he's involved in a situation involved in an attempted robbery, you know, it's
Yep.
been seized.
Could you make sure
So-
that's added to the evidence? Just because.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm looking on here. He's not had anything seized other than a bong and some
Bong,
evidence.
yeah, couldn't work out if was apparently also got suspicion of drug dealing, but he couldn't work it out really, so I just confiscated that. I didn't
Okay.
think too much of the lockpick, but I
Just
will
remember you
go
can
and add
legally
it to
buy the
evidence.
bong just down the road, by the way.
Alright, I believe he said he got it out from fishing, but I haven't
Hello,
been
this is
fishing
Big Red,
before,
how may I
so
help you?
I don't understand.
Yeah, there's a shop literally just around the corner. You can buy CBD stuff and bongs and all that there.
Yeah, but this is
so-
actual
Perfect.
weed bags, so I'm believing the weed bags were actually for the selling. When they do
Fair
the
enough.
drug dealing, you need the actual weed bag, whereas CBD stuff is actually in like a plastic container already.
Right. Okay.
Might just be worth double checking that shop because there were weed bags there the other day. Unless that was
Okay, I think that's
an
why
issue.
they buy them, because apparently I believe the process is when you've got obviously the weed plant, they harvest the weed plant and they got to combine it into a weed bag, and that's how they sell
Just
it.
remember, if it's an empty plastic bag, it could be used for many things. I mean, I use empty plastic bags to bag up my money when I take it to the bank. You know, empty
Yeah.
change and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
use mine for medication if I'm going out and
Just
stuff
be
like that,
mindful
so-
with that, and especially when you go traveling, they ask you to put it in a plastic bag, don't they? So just
Yeah.
be careful of what you're seizing and what you're trying to claim it as, if you've got no evidence for that. I've got to go into a meeting. Could you just sort the gentleman out and find out, you know, get to the bottom of the resolution if you were the officer that was dealing with it, please?
Yeah, I will do.
Oh, man, thank you.
Alrighty.
Right, let's go upstairs.
It's been one hell of a day.
I'm in for a roller coaster then.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Are you keeping
He
it as
scored.
Foxtrot? Thanks, boss.
We do not do that.
Oh, my.
Hello.
Hello, mate, you're right.
Hello.
Oh, is that
Did we
Hold on,
go
if you
here?
want me to show you
Is
the
that
evidence of
Tom?
that. So
Hello,
if you're
mate.
still there, mate,
Hello, buddy.
I don't know.
How are you finding your new station?
I'll do it. There you go. Big.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking maze. Is this locked now? No, there we are.
We get a coffee before we start, or?
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, sounds fabulous. I'm down for a coffee, actually, to be fair.
No worries.
Maybe they got an energy drink because my levels are low.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, what have they got? Let's see.
Has anything been discussed about?
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Not yet. We're about to do that now.
Two Twixes. Let's
I'm gonna
go.
walk through it with Tom.
Look, welcome in. How are we?
Yeah, you mate, Jesus.
I need to sit down.
I'm
Oh,
declaring it as a no-fly zone. Put it that way. I'm declaring it as a no-fly zone.
You what?
Because of what we found on that island, it is now a no-fly zone.
yeah.
Me and Danny could have died. Put it that way. While
What
flying
the
impasse.
I'm stuck. I am stuck. Help.
Okay.
We may or may not have found an active
Oh,
SAM
fine.
site.
Right. Well, let's go and have a look, shall we?
Oh.
Go somewhere around a little bit more out the way.
Quiet.
Welcome in. How are we? Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. What have you been up to? Much enjoying your Saturday? Right, take a seat.
Fantastic. How do you sit down? Oh, I got it.
Right, go on then. Hit me with it.
So, I started off.
Yep.
Started off small. Obviously, Danny passed her impasse training last night, so we thought,
Congratulations.
let's get her practicing.
Thank you.
Let's get her practicing, used to it, before she has to use it in search and rescue. While we were out and about, we took that opportunity to search for any drugs in the mountains that we haven't searched in yet. So we went towards the oil pumps. We searched the buildings and the oil pumps from above.
Yep.
And then we went towards
Gaming Kings, how are we? Nice to see you. Welcome in, welcome in.
Crevice. If you look at your
Yeah,
map,
very well,
you'll
thank
see
you.
Route 15, and there's a little crevice between two hills leading towards that water. I saw that, and I said to her, hover over it. I'm going to rappel down and see if there's anything under the bridge. We found 5 new placed plants underneath it. We made an MDT report on it and marked it off as an observation. So we've left it and we're going to observe it because there's only 5 new plants there. That was a joint decision between myself and CID. And then we thought, do you know what? Let's continue, see if we can find anything. And then I noticed that on the GPS, there is a co-op and a bank and a JD and a parking down in the water. So I got curious and told Danny to fly down there. We came across a big, massive island connected by a big fuck-off bridge. Best way to put it. This bridge, couldn't tell you how long it is.
It took me about 3 minutes to drive from one end to the other.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's huge. You cannot see the island from the shore, and you cannot see the city from the island. It's that big.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So this bridge led straight to dirt tracks and an airfield.
Right,
now,
okay.
This is a dirt airfield,
CID.
and this airfield is then connected to a bunch of dirt tracks further on, leading southbound onto the island. So the bridge leads to the far west side of the island.
Trojan 2 to CID
runway.
direct.
The island contained a bunch of...
Sorry, mate, we're dealing with 4 suspects in custody. What's up?
Warehouses
We've just...
what looked to be abandoned boat yards. So we came across a boat yard, warehouses, and an airstrip. but then we seen that there was a vehicle, so we stopped that vehicle. I zoomed in on him with the camera. I have a body cam of it. I got the plate of the vehicle. I haven't run it yet, but he then started circling and following us for a good 5 to 10 minutes up and down the island. We only went about halfway down the island with him circling. Every attempt we made to land to check something out, to see what it was, I seen him on thermals, get out of his car, start running towards us. So every time we cancelled the landing and then took back off. And each time he then got back in his car and started to pursue us again. So
we were unsure if he was armed
gained
or not.
suspicion. Obviously, at this moment in time, I was not armed myself. I just had a taser on me.
Yep.
And Danny was obviously just had a taser as well, so we didn't want to risk it. So we didn't explore any further. Then I told Danny to basically fly back towards the city, see what he does, because he at this point followed us up and down the island, taking pictures of us. He looked as if he's been texting as well during it.
Just to stop you there. So the car that you found on the island, what was the car make and model?
I couldn't tell you. I do have body cam of it.
I do too. It looks like one of those old style kind of
Best way to put it. Have you seen Lightning McQueen? You know Mac? Is it Mac from Lightning McQueen?
Right.
The blue one.
The really old blue one. Yeah.
So your old school kind of vehicles that you see back in like the 1970s, 80s, those like really fancy ones they'd use to transport important people. It's got like those big tires at the back and it's kind of like really long on the engine area. I wouldn't know the name, but it's like one of those. And it was, I believe, like brown and cream in color, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I do remember it being cream. I can't remember the other color off the top of my head, but I do have footage of it through the cameras. The only thing I can remember off the top of my head as well is that it was an IC1 male, so he'd been what looked to me to be texting during it. I don't know whether he was alerting somebody, but he refused to let us out of his sight. Once we've flown off, the only way onto that island is either by air or from that bridge. He went onto the bridge, stopped on the bridge, and watched to see if we came back. We was watching from a distance in the fog with thermals. We then decided to go back and see what he'd done, and he then resumed to follow us. So at that point, we decided to return back to PD.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Raise our issues.
TLZXYFM123. That's a good username. Thank you ever so much for the follow. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
He must have been
welcome in.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
And Jack Divine, welcome in. How are we? Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good Saturday.
Obviously, with the boat docks, the airstrip, I came to the conclusion there could possibly be illegal smuggling going on.
Right. Okay.
Upon searching it with CID, we had Trojan in our helicopter with us. So we had 2 Trojan units. To basically repel in if needed for CID, and then while we got to the island, we decided the Trojan were going to move on foot as basically a rear unit. We had Mike block the bridge off, and anybody that came up to the bridge, we had him just tell him there's an accident on the bridge. The bridge is currently closed for the time being.
Lenny also assisted him, by the way.
And Lenny also assisted him with that.
Okay.
They did have spike strips down as well, I believe, in front of their vehicles to stop people from ramming through and past. So we had the whole island secured at that time. We had Empass, so myself and Danny fly around looking for thermals. We didn't pick any thermals up, but we did find one guy once we returned in best way to put it, fields of plants.
Right.
He was an
and
IC
you were able to
male
interact with him.
Dreadlocks. We could interact with him, but he refused to talk to us.
Okay.
It was something along the lines of, I have nothing to say to you. Possibly because we're police officers, obviously in police uniform. So we're not sure about that.
And just to add in there, he was standing in the middle of a bunch of what we believe to be cocoa leaves.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
massive amounts of cocoa leaves.
There was a bunch of warehouses there as we were leaving. We did stop at a couple of the warehouses. The island is full of weaponry. One of the guard posts we came across had a minigun.
And there was also boxes of rifles and
there was
things
boxes
like
of
that.
rifles, ammunition, shotgun. We came across a surface-to-air missile system that was automatic.
The one thing that was also very suspicious that myself and one of the Trojan units found, I believe it might have been John, was a locked gate inside this compound that led to what looked like an underground tunnel. And in that underground tunnel, almost kind of like dungeon vibes, we could not access. It was fingerprint only. So it does look
small
like
head
it
indeed. Someone has redeemed it. Just before you come in, Owen has redeemed small head. It's a filter. There's quite a few filters that you can use for 400 channel points. And
it's not just
fire
something
away.
that a small street gang could organise. It's definitely something way bigger than that.
Almost like a smuggling plantation, if
they
that
had
makes sense.
military vehicles all over the island. So like Hummers, they had a couple of little Jeeps stationed around the island. They did have explosives as well in little outposts around the island. They had many locked doors that had key codes, like little key codes towards getting to them. Some of them were left open, so we did go in, but they lead to more locked doors. Now this, we don't know what's behind them, we couldn't see inside, but any building that we could see inside, we looked inside and we did find mass amounts of automatic rifles, we see some pistols, ammunition. I believe everything is being uploaded at this moment in time.
Right, okay. Some good story and good evidence within. I don't want to burst any bubbles, but I just need to be careful. So
it's definitely something we'll have to observe before doing anything.
The problem I have is that it's an island. We don't know who owns the island, because it's technically not in our waters, so to speak. It could be classed as international waters.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
So, with it being international waters and out of our remit, we may have entered that island without permission or without, a warrant, so to speak. We just need to be very careful and tread the waters with this information, okay? Because if we start publicly or start putting it out there to other officers...
The only people that know about it is the ones that done that operation.
Okay, now...
Those are the only ones that know about it.
If the gentleman that was on the island at the time, obviously may have seen empaths, etc., flying over. Now, you're just flying over, so you haven't actually stepped foot on the base. So there's only that person there that knows that empath has been around the area. No one has seen a police officer on the island, and the reason being is because obviously you shut the road and you said there was an accident on the motorway. Okay, as far as we're concerned, that's exactly how it is now. Okay, this information here stays between, and we need all officers. Can I get yourself to tell all officers that were on that duty, if you could email them or get hold of them in the on radio or whatever? They cannot tell anyone about this information.
Is to stay with us alone.
Correct.
I believe, sorry to butt in, I believe CID did say
Dougie, welcome in, my man.
Not within our areas and it was international waters, we did not need a warrant. That came from CID. I just wanted to clarify that information that was discussed.
Right, okay.
No, we didn't touch anything that was there. We didn't take anything.
Didn't breach any doors, nothing at all.
Yeah, we didn't break any doors, didn't break any locks. We didn't go inside any buildings that were locked. No windows, nothing like that.
But technically, even though they weren't locked, it's still classed as trespassing, isn't it?
So it's just a case of we didn't leave no evidence that we were there, is basically what I'm saying.
Okay, right, fair enough. Well, let's keep it that way, because there's no one knows that we've been on that island, okay?
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to stay, because we need to do some investigation to find out who owns the island, how we can get permission to get on the island, or if we don't need permission to get on the island and it does come in within our remit, and we can obviously attend if we need to, okay? Because the last thing we want to happen is the authorities who own the island turn around and say, oh, another establishment come on our island and try to police it. We're going to sue them or whatever like that, you know? So we just need to tread very carefully.
The thing we can palm it off as, with that guy seeing us as empaths there, is that we could have just easily said, well, yeah, you're out in the ocean, we're doing search and rescue training. That's what we can palm it off as.
So, just to clarify one thing, I walked towards the JD and the shop. That is all public space. It is open for the public to enter. that is not closed off by any gates or anything at all.
It was towards the south end of the island is where everything was located.
Just remember though, just remember on that topic, let's just say you've flown to France and there's obviously co-op there, there's JD or whatever like that. Obviously that's public area there, but in order for you to get to France, you've got to go through passport security, haven't you? And obviously be accepted into the country by obviously passport control. I know there's maybe no passport control on duty at the time, but no one has officially granted us approval to go onto that island. Not saying that we need approval. However, at this early stages, we do not know enough about the island to deem whether it is available to jump on or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I say it's best just to keep it on the low that we haven't been there. Keep this information that what we know, and obviously for later date, and we can use this ammunition towards hopefully getting approval or finding out who owns the island or how we can approach that.
The
only issue we have is that if we was to do anything in the future, we'd need full deployment due to the mass amounts of weaponry and heavy weaponry they had. Like I said, there was a couple of helipads throughout the island, one towards the north end, one towards basically the central.
No way,
west
Dougie, is your
side,
computer that bad at the moment, is it? Forest Luton, I would love that, Dougie. I would love that.
On the southeast side of the island.
Right.
So, which is why I'm going to declare anything past the top of the island, so anything past the airstrip is a no-fly zone.
Right, received.
Also, bear in mind that the public have been accessing this area, whether or not that vehicle was just someone that happened to be exploring, or whether it was actually someone that was stationed on that island. Public people are accessing the area, and it's also kind of dangerous considering we don't even know what's going on and the equipment that is on that island. If the public is going up there, because there is technically places to use, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And as you said, border control, we need to keep in mind that these people are entering a place that could be dangerous for them as well.
Agrees.
And it's quite possible that if it's not in our jurisdiction, they could be smuggling things from that territory to our territory across that bridge.
Yeah, that's understandable. What I'll do then, I'll make it my first priority to try and find out about the island. I'll get in contact with any authorities over there and see if that island belongs to Manchester or it belongs to someone else, and then we know if that does belong to Manchester, that's an area that we do have to police as well.
Fantastic. The fact that once you're on that island, everything's pretty much open. It's once you get to that compound.
I am going to, yes, Dougie.
Yes, as you get about halfway down this checkpoint, start to appear, fences start to appear, etc.
So it almost seems like it's half public, half private property, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
That's good knowledge as well then. Let's sit on it. I'll get it into my my evidence as well. I look forward to receiving your evidence, submitting.
That's all in there at the moment, I believe. We just have to upload it to the MDT.
Fantastic, cool. I'll look forward to reading that then, and I will get onto it and find some authority.
Fantastic.
Cool, good work.
This just goes to show what curiosity you can find on it.
Yes. Just be mindful.
Oh, wow, my legs don't work.
Just make sure you use your H.
Thank you.
Just be mindful what curiosity can lead you into as well, though.
Yeah, which is why we had every precaution in place. We had ARU full deployment just as a precautionary. We had myself. I still have my pistol on me because I've been in my head since we came back. We had, like I said, the road was completely blocked off, and we had an alibi for it.
Right,
and made sure there's nobody on that island during the time.
Okay, no problem. Sounds good. That's the main thing. If we're on the island, if we were to go back on it, like block the road off so no one can get on, just so there's an accident, on the motorway.
And Mike did call over radio a few times. The same vehicle did keep coming back, but each time he made it sound more and more convincing and said, "Well, yeah, it's taking so long now because we've just had to pull Empass out because they're trying to find somebody in the water that is supposedly fallen off the bridge during the accident."
Okay.
So he's made a very believable alibi.
Sounds good.
and he's stuck with one story and has just built that story on and on.
Cool. Perfect. Sounds good. All right, no worries. I will leave you to upload the evidence, and I'll get back on duty.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Take care.
See, I'm going to call that a win for response again.
I don't believe anyone started the MDT, Jordan, if you want to
No,
take hold of that.
I'll start it up now since
a win for response. I keep getting encoder errors. I've tried everything. Have you made sure you've tried the direct link, Dougie?
Lovely.
Or is that for your are you meaning the encoder for your stream?
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
So while you're here, quick question. We.
Oh, I'm not sure I can hear you. Hello. Hello. Jordan? Can anyone hear me? Hello? Hello?
Alright, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what
think
the
it might
hell?
just be the stairs. It might just be there because that's when it happened.
Wait, come back. Let's see.
It happened as we came down.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
imagine that. It's literally the stairs.
It might just be the stairs, to be fair.
Okay, so basically, RAC said that they do not want to repair our vehicles for free. That they're charging us 500 to 1,000 per vehicle. Is that right?
Because we don't even earn that much.
Yeah, I'll have to.
There's no way we can afford that.
Yeah, I'll have to go and speak to them and find out because obviously that shouldn't be that much. I do know that RAC do have to charge for their parts, obviously. So.
But they shouldn't be charging us 1,000.
No. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. I will find out. I'll go and speak to them and see if I can come to some agreement.
Especially when I just lost 230 bitcoins.
Yeah, I lost all my money in that, to be fair.
Because I wasn't able to fly in due to a second job.
Luckily, I didn't put anything in that, but didn't.
Yeah, I put like 20k into mine.
20k? What have you got 20k from?
I had 230. Oh, because I've been doing crypto since day one. I'm being turned profit.
There you go then.
Yeah, and now I've got 3k. So I've just lost all my money, basically.
Brilliant. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Let me go speak to RAC, and then I'll get onto this island business.
Fantastic, thank you.
Cool, have a good one.
Alright, thank you.
Oh.
Hello?
We may need a word, my friend.
Okay, where do you want it?
I think CID need to speak to you regarding a operation. But I just want to cover CID's backs. Really.
Yeah, no worries. Do you want to pop upstairs then?
Yeah. Delta 7.
I was just about to get out.
Let Delta 1 know that we're going up to the sub's office upstairs.
I run off 2, Dougie. I run off 2. I'd love to have 3.
Sorry, boss.
No worries, mate. I'd love to have 3, but I just don't have enough room. I'm good, mate. Yourself? Been busy?
Always busy. Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Good to hear.
No, I'm not. I'm with GC1. Have you got a long shift today, boss?
Not too long, mate. Not too long. I've got got to be somewhere in a little while, but
yeah, I feel that one, mate. I feel that one. What a lovely office this is.
Yeah, no worries. Take a seat.
Go upstairs, up to the hallway, straight up. Go up the stairs.
I'll go get him. I'll go get him.
Callum's coming to get you, sir.
Good evening, RAC. This is PD Tom Roberts speaking.
Hello, this is Sean, owner of RAC.
Ah, good man. Good to hear. Can I come down and have a chat to you in about 15 to 20 minutes, if that's possible?
Toledo right now because I have a call and I'll be down there. If you want to stay on the radio channel, then I'll call you back.
No worries. I'm just about to go into a meeting with some of my officers, so it should last about 15 minutes or so. So I can jump back on the radio once that's finished.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll speak soon.
Okay, boss.
Hello, sir.
Hello. How are we?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good to hear.
Just a couple of things I wanted to... Hang on, let me just dull them all. Because nobody wants to hear me projected. You right down there in the other end of the corridor, Swifty?
I am, so yes.
Good, you can hear me, yeah?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. How are you doing, Juicy Bum?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Get out of the office at some point.
Maybe, maybe not, you know. Wanted to update you on a couple of things. Did you boys need to talk to me about anything, or am I talking over the top of you or anything?
No, go ahead.
Good, fine. So I've got to get some receipts to you, but so far we met some people yesterday. They took us to a shop called Smoke Under the Water by the docks, which sells seeds, fertilizer, soil, watering cans and stuff like that. Purchased 5 amnesia seeds, 5 fertilizers, and that was it. Went to Palito PD because we found out that we can't seem to find pots to plant them in.
Okay.
I was told when I went to the scrapyard that they weren't a thing. Like, you just can't do it. They're hard to make, whatever.
Yep.
So there is one weed plant planted up by Palito PD in a bush somewhere.
Need one for game, one for OBS, and one for Discord.
4 amnesia.
Why Discord? Because I split my screen on my 2. I've got Discord there,
we're going to go back
and I've got
check
OBS
for growth.
there.
We've taken a photo, added it to the Excel, and we're monitoring the growth of that plant, how much we need to fertilize it, so that we can get a rough idea how long plants take to reach their full potential. I just wanted to inform you on that. Still haven't managed to find any binoculars.
Right, okay.
I spoke to, I think it was SC3, Rizla.
SC2.
SC2, is it? He said that apparently there is
you
one
got more on the top of
person
your
in
head,
the
have
city
ya?
selling binoculars. And
You should print them
they're
out,
selling
if
them
not.
for an inflated price.
Print them out and have them in front. I have like the rights on the bottom here for when I was on the bottom of my screen.
Looking for
and I used to print all them out, but I've sort of got them in my head now.
To see if we can get them at a discounted price. I don't have a name because CID would be prepared to. I think they're selling them for £150.
Yep.
Per binocular.
Yep.
We're prepared to pay that if we can get a set. Maybe at that price it would only be 1 set each, but obviously it aids us significantly if we can. Also, we had a tip-off that between 851 and 852 there appears to be some weird deliveries that may not be Amazon taking place, that possibly Amazon or some of the Amazon drivers are using their vans as disguises to deliver drugs to an apartment, and that apartment is selling drugs out of the door. We don't have confirmation on this at the moment, We went, 2 CID officers, myself and OP Power went completely plainclothes anonymous and spent time in the area.
Yeah, the jail time's got that.
Callum and John were in.
So obviously I have stuff on my Discord that I just have to keep up to date just in case
or we got into difficulties,
anything is
but we
said
so
or
far have
needed
nothing has
pinged.
come of that. But we will keep you updated, sir, on that one.
Yep, no worries.
Finally, before I stop talking, I've come on shift probably a little bit after you, and I found out that some officers have attended an island down in the south east of the sea. I'm not sure, from what I've read and what my 2 officers who have decided amongst themselves, I'm very pleased, managed to pull out of that situation, but it's possible that they have repelled. I'm just obviously filling you in to cover yourself if anything comes back on this, that they bring lawyers or anything into it. They appear to have repelled into a garden without a warrant and entered buildings without a warrant to search. So I'm just thought I'd let you know, obviously we can't do that. And if anyone asks any questions, my team pulled themselves out of it and didn't have anything to do with it.
Right, okay.
Yes, Callum.
Obviously, me and Swifty were on scene. I believe the armed response units made the call to go in. Me and Swifty drove around the premises of the building. We found there was a gap in the wall. We parked our vehicles to see if we could jump and see anything over. We can't even reach. At that point, we then just parked up and waited. And I believe it was Eddie or John. I think it was Eddie who just said, "Can they pick up them?" Because they were walking around the bushes. They didn't want to drive because they didn't have cars. They landed with the response officers and the helicopter to land on the airfield. I don't know what the plan was.
The reason for their suspicion, from what I can tell, is that somebody was on the island on a radio walking around. Now, to me, personally, that wouldn't surprise me, and I made a bit of a joke. You're like this. I said if they saw the Isle of Wight, they'd shit themselves. But I'm not really sure what raised suspicion enough to warrant the whole of PD attending an island in the middle of the sea because they saw someone walking around it, and let alone entering properties.
So being my 3 trusted CID officers, obviously I expect you guys to know everything. Firstly, there's the story that I've had a minute ago was that CID told the people they don't need a warrant.
I said to the people that they do not need a warrant to enter a island. If it's just a look, they never said that there was any criminal intent. There was no warrant. There was no crimes. You don't need a warrant. Obviously, as a well and trusted man yourself, you do know that there needs to be a crime to even enter a premises. There was no crime there that was given to me. When they told me that they were planning on going to it, I specifically said you do not need a warrant to enter a island.
No, but what I've also just said to them, obviously they've given me the full lowdown, which I'm going to explain to you very shortly. But I did also say I didn't want to burst their bubble. However, obviously it's an island that we had not known about at all. The first time we've known about it. It is an island. The fact that we don't know about it raises suspicion that there's a potential chance that we weren't meant to be there. The fact that use your H muscle and then trace it down again. So, because it's an island or an area that we were not made aware of when we first obviously took our roles and training, it may well be an overseas and international waters. The fact that it's international waters, we don't know who the authority is that owns that. We don't know what permissions we need to be there. And as you know, you can't enter property without a warrant. So the fact that we've entered the island without seeking any sort of authority, I mean, you know, there is a motorway to it, but there's also, you know, a motorway or a train.
There's a tunnel to France.
There's a tunnel to France, yeah. And I've said to them themselves, I said, look, because they obviously said on the island there is a co-op, there's a JD, there's stuff like that, which is public area. I said, well, it's public area to the island, you know, owners or people who live on the island, but to people who have come, let's say I use the example of going to France. You know, you go to France, you have to go through border control. They either accept or deny you into the country. Then you can roam free when you get accepted. But you've entered an island where you've not been accepted or seek to see if you need to be accepted, and you've sort of roamed around and had a look elsewhere in everything like that. Potentially meaning that you've broken a few laws and stuff like that in yourself, trespassing the lot. So I said... well, the fact is, if you've admitted yourself, then you're going to arrest yourself, because the problem I have is that being CID officers, you guys, I hope that you have the most knowledge.
Yeah, I can cover my back as why I can't be arrested in my officer.
Okay.
Would you like to hear the fun reason why?
In a second. But what I'm saying is, obviously, if something's like that, and I'm explaining to you guys, you know, you said that you don't want to take any part of it because you shouldn't have been there. As CID, you are the elite division who are trusted and expected to do certain operations that may incriminate yourselves or may do certain things that no other officer is allowed to do. Not only that, you're expected to know a lot more than other officers and to do certain situations. So if there's a situation where something like this happens, I would like to hope that you guys were big enough and able to step in and explain the situation to people, and you would be listened to why they can't do certain things or certain like that, and you'd be respected for it.
Yeah.
So on that note, I have had one of my officers come to me and say that they did mention something to another officer, and they were told to stand down. They are not. What were the words?
So when we arrived on this island, it reminds me of. Have you ever seen the film King Kong, boss?
I have, yes.
It reminds me of that island. Reminds me a bit like that.
Is it?
So we arrived on it.
Brilliant.
And obviously a helicopter landed, and they dropped off officers and stuff. And then they would go in the thermal checks with the helicopter.
Yep.
And me and my other officer were both in separate cars. I was in a Volvo and Swifty was in an X5. And we were directly underneath the helicopter.
Okay.
And over the radio, I believe it was a Danny who said that we're not permitted to do it as they've not checked the full island yet. At which two, I kind of just left the radio and went anyway.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. I wasn't on shift GC1, so I apologise for that. But so I'm catching up as much as you. But correct me if I'm wrong. If and I'm not sure if my officers knew this, but if they want to, they can use their power and have all those officers removed from that island on their say-so. Would that be correct, sir?
If we feel it's an undercover CID operation.
I mean, if you think that something is wrong, can they take control of that scene?
You guys are all made inspectors and above for a reason. So naturally, you're going to be a higher rank than most of the officers that are on. Obviously, new to the force, Swifty is currently a sergeant. However, no, new to the division, sorry.
Okay.
So, naturally, I haven't sort of made it publicly or police aware that, you know, we've got our PCSOs, our response units, and then we've got on par sort of our RPU and ARU, and then we've obviously got our CID just above. And then obviously you start moving into the higher ranks. So naturally, CID would take lead on certain things. I'm not saying that they would go to, you know, a traffic stop and start going, right, CID's
no.
crack on.
I just mean in
However,
that situation.
if you guys have better knowledge on a situation, 100% I would expect CID to go to the most highest officer on at the time that is dealing with that situation and say, right, I believe this is incorrect for the following reasons, and then that officer, I would hope, would take on board the feedback given by CID and make the correct decision.
I just think it's one of them situations that obviously the highest ranking officer is the head of unit of response. It was his call. The only thing that has concerned me is that obviously to enter that island, it is not. If the island was only enterable via boat and aircraft, we would have to have got a warrant. But as it was accessible via a checkpoint and stuff.
Sorry, can I just ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any gates on the entry to the road that led to the island?
I believe there was like a ticket boothy thing, but it opened without any guard or locking mechanism. It just it unlocked itself
gates,
automatically.
No.
So have you caught the guard on his lunch break?
No, we waited for it was around 20 minutes as I arrived first on scene with Romeo 2, Mike Wazowski, and we waited there I was waiting for 10 minutes till Swifty there because he was dealing with something at the prison.
Mm-hmm.
But there was 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then there was 10 minutes definitely, and then all the helicopter units came over.
Think of like Europe or...
Yeah, but I'm sort of thinking that it would be very unwise that a high security maybe island would not have shift changes where they would just leave a island of privacy unguarded.
No, of course. That's understandable. However, we don't know enough about the island. All we've seen is a motorway with a guard point at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I did put £5 into the bucket to pay the toll booth.
We've then driven through it, and we've then gone on to the other island. You know, there's you do the similar with France, for instance. You still need to be checked for that. If the person wasn't there at the time, we still need to do our research into say, oh, hang on a minute. It's sort of set up. If it's just a road that you've gone through, and you've got onto this island with no signs of okay, this is okay. You know, all I'm saying is. You know, but then there was a barrier that comes up and down. You know, so it may have just been a case of that we've caught him on a wrong time. We don't know enough about the island, but the only good thing is that we blocked the island off as if it was a road traffic collision on the motorway, so no one knows that we went any further than that motorway. So as it stands right now, okay, no one other than the police that attended that situation knows that we were on that island, okay? There is a lot of information that Response have obviously passed to me, and they've uploaded the evidence. They've obviously gone onto the islands, they've gone through buildings, warehouses that were unlocked and checked, and they've said that they found anti-air missile turrets, they found miniguns, they found all sorts of weaponry, they found docks, airfields, they found this big compound, lots of things that they've said they found which could eliminate
we're just in a meeting at the moment, mate. Do you need us urgently?
It could start pointing towards trafficking or drug use or whatever, you know, that type of evidence on that island is a little bit suspicious. But the problem is we technically still don't know whether we should be having that evidence or not, so we need to do some more digging to find out who owns the island, what authority is given, and if we are able to attend it and man it. If we can, then of course that evidence can go towards a huge operation for you guys.
Are there any officers that can tend with you, or do you need us to come now?
Wait, what? A meeting?
Yeah, if you really need us urgently, then ping me back. Let me know shortly, please.
Wait, what? What's going on?
Someone's been involved in an attempted murder, and he's currently in the community centre, and he's just trying to rally some troops. So I've said if he can't get enough officers there, CID will attend with him. But he's going to come back to me in a second.
Boss. I just didn't want anyone to come and see us.
So you guys, like I've just explained a second ago, all three of you, and obviously OP, whenever he's around, have the authority in the city, or should have the knowledge in the city. Sorry, not authority. Should have the knowledge in the city to know what's right from wrong, even if other officers don't. Okay, and you guys should be able to advise the highest officer on duty at the time to whether it is a good move or not. If they decide to go against that move and it's the wrong one, then it's on their head. If it's the correct decision, they followed you, then absolutely. If you've ill-advised them and it's the wrong decision, then it goes on yourself. I'm not trying to bring a blame culture in or anything like that, because we're all here as one team. But
agreed.
What I'm saying is, in my opinion, felt that move today was the wrong decision. If someone had advised whoever was on duty at the time as the highest, that it was a wrong decision, then obviously that you may have all pulled out and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because no one advised him, you guys thought it was wrong, but you never tried to stop them. Is where you know, because obviously you said that you don't need a warrant to be on there, so that's why they've gone. Let's go on there.
I said on radio when me and Swifty
Drappy, welcome in. How are we? Thank you very much for the follow. Why is that not popped up? So apologies if you're still in here. Really do apologise.
So we have
meant to not get that
in the community centre. How many officers are on scene? There's no other officers that can attend. Trojans aren't responding. Well, it feels like it needs to be a Trojan unit for this. 1 second.
Swifty, can I get you to go attend that, please, bud?
1 second.
Yeah, no, sir.
Swifty, can you nudge those Trojan units as well, because they're not responding on radio?
Yeah.
They're in PD. If they're having a cup of tea, tell them to put it down.
How you doing now?
No, I agree, mate. I agree.
Nice to see you.
Stay calm, mate. We're sorting it. We've got an officer en route, and we're going to nudge the Trojan units for you. All right, mate? Apologies. Lovely. Thank you. Well, we've got John Swift on the way to you, mate. Right, carry on, mate. Sorry.
So yeah, no. All I was saying from there, I understand, because obviously, look, I'm speaking to the head of response, who deals with all the guys with the response unit. Okay, he's come across MPAS training through the waters, and he's come across this island out of nowhere. He's found, you know, someone driving around on the island, following the aircraft, looking a bit suspicious. He's then thought, right, okay, let's just try and land and find out what this island is. Every time he's gone to land, the car keeps driving towards him. So they've obviously then flown back up, and they've tried to fly away, and the car keeps following. Every time they go to land, it keeps trying to follow him. That could have been security. We don't know who it was, but you know, that's where I'm saying, is it a person just trying to be nosy, or is it actually the personal security guards trying to make sure no one tries to enter the island? We don't know. And all of a sudden, from that, we've then had the whole PD that was on duty at the time fly over there, or sorry, you know, drive over there and start investigating it without any prior knowledge or any further knowledge into what is actually on that island.
That's
or who
what
owns
concerned me, sir, as well.
Yeah, and that's where I'm turning around and saying that from what they've turned around and said is that they asked CID if they could attend that island, and they were told they do not need a warrant to attend the island. So naturally they've gone, okay, if we don't need a warrant to attend that island, let's continue going.
They only asked me if they can. They did not say that they were going to. I said, when they said to us they will need a warrant, and I went, you don't actually need a warrant to enter it, as they said that it was enterable via motorway. They don't, because it's still attached to the city limits. If it's still attached to us, it's going to be a thing. Unless it's privatized, then we don't.
So
but
they
didn't ask me as a CID officer. They just assumed that they can rappel down into a building just because when Swifty said on radio, the doors
Maggie, how are we? I'm good, loving PD, just sometimes hard with. I know, we're trying to get on with that, Lenny. Trust me, I'm trying to sort that.
Levels. We've got the level where we've gone. You are correct, Callum. You don't need a warrant to enter an island on UK waters or part of the United Kingdom, as long as the item isn't privately owned or locked. So we can take that as part one. You say there was a gate, but it opened automatically. Okay.
Yep.
Probably a grey area. They could argue, oh, well, I don't know where our security guard was. Oh, I'm not sure why that opened. And you could argue back, oh, well, it opened. Tough. You should have locked it. Fine. If we didn't lock PD and someone came wandering in, we'd argue the toss. I feel the second level is obviously going a step above that is rappelling into somebody's garden with no cause is definitely level 2. And I'd say above that, sending the whole PD down to an island where somebody has looked. If I lived on a private island and a helicopter came over, I'd probably do it in my garden. If a helicopter's flying overhead, you might look at it, you might take a picture.
Yeah.
If it's a small island, you might drive round because you probably want to know, okay, why a PD landing on my island? They might want to talk to me. What have I done? Maybe my nan's ill. Maybe something's happened to my dog. It's an island. They've come to get here quickly. God, that could be something really serious. I want to get to where that helicopter's landing. And every time he tries to land, they see him turn up and for no reason take off again, where there's no grounds to suspect that anyone's doing anything other than shit. The PD are here and they obviously want to talk to me, which is exactly the opinion I'd have. I think I'm pleased that you pulled out. It is a difficult situation when was there just you and Swift?
A CID.
A CID.
Yeah, me and Swifty both pulled out at the same time.
So
I'm glad we pulled out because it could have got messy.
I do understand where you're coming from as well. Callum, as an inspector,
the thing is, Dougie, if you've gone from 1 to 10, that means that someone,
you've already given
or 10 people have joined that queue with queue jumper.
In my opinion,
it could have been 1% queue jumper or 100%.
Island.
Because you haven't got any queue jumper.
Correct.
They will jump above you regardless. So that's how it works. If you've got 10% queue jumper, you'll be in ahead of anyone that hasn't. If someone with 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever comes in, you will obviously be jumped behind.
So
but if you've got 80% queue jumper, then someone with 20, 30, 40, 50% will still remain behind you.
Oh, I'm stuck on this gluey. So, oops, I'm now still on the desk. So this is the front where I am here, right? The front's here. All the way around is a big high. I'm gonna go with 10-foot fence here. It's massive. There was a gap on this side. If this is where the front door is, it was locked. It's a big gated thing. On this, bloody Nora. On this side, there's like a little gap. We parked our car underneath to see if we can like jump over. We couldn't. Even I'm 6'2". I know I might not look it, but I'm 6'2".
Yeah, but you keep standing on the table.
Yeah, I'm at 6'2".
Yeah.
And we couldn't get there, so it was quite high. And then we went round the other side. That was the left side, as in facing on. We went on the right side, and there's a door, and you can see in it. They've not got any blinds. You can see in it, and it was like a little computer room or whatever it was. And Swifty said that this door's locked as well. On radio to myself, but we were on like a joint ops radio. And at that point, Eddie has come on and said, "Can you, MPAS, can you pick us up, and we'll try and get in the building." At that point, me and Swifty was like,
I'll just stop you there, and sorry to butt in because
go ahead.
Obviously, you've just said to me you do not need a warrant if it's open to go and all the way through, which is kind of, I'm still stuck in the middle with that because obviously it's a separate island with gates at the start that did open, like you say, but you then said that if it's gated area, doors, etc., you shouldn't be allowed in unless you got a warrant. You've just explained to me that you've tried to park your car up against the wall and tried to jump over.
No, to jump and look over. I didn't try and jump in it. I just jumped to look over.
And then you've gone round to another door that you hoped was open, and it's it's locked.
We went to the left hand side because we didn't know how big this place was. It's absolutely massive. We went round to the left hand side. And it was on like a cliff face at the back, so you can't like jump in the water because it's just like a cliff face. So we went round the left, and that's when we saw this little gated thing. Eventually, if I had my contact cards on me, I would have left a note through the post box and sort of say, you've got a hole in your fence type of thing. But we parked up to jump over. Like to jump on the car to then jump to see if we can look over to see if we can see anything. Which we've not broken any laws there because I'm perfectly allowed to jump and see if I can do, but wasn't tall enough, unfortunately. So then, as me and Swifty then drove round to the right hand side of the building, and that's when we've saw this door. And we've peered inside the glass, which they haven't got any blinds on, so you can see through it. And then Swifty told me that it looked like it has been locked and stuff, so I don't know. But then at that point, we were like, you know what, this isn't I'm not touching this.
So what point did you advise anyone, or in fact anyone that tried to get in, that it was not a good idea, and that you should be retracting? So
we said on radio. So Swifty said on radio, because obviously I was parked up away from the door when he said it was locked. So he said on radio, he was like, these doors are locked. And then I said, he already said about the main door, the big like entry point, should I say. That one was like locked as well. So he said on radio, both of these doors are locked. And at that point, Eddie has come in and said, can you pick because chosen units up and we'll rappel down. And then as soon as he said that, I said on radio, and I was like, well, me and Swifty were in the car at that point, and I said on radio, CID are going to be pulling out of this operation. And then someone said okay, and then Eddie would then talk because Calvin then, or someone, another officer, Trojan unit came on duty, and they were asking him to jive down. So I was spoken over anyway by multiple operations, by Empath speaking and Trojan unit speaking. So I was just drowned out. And at that point, I was thinking, you know what? This isn't my lead of operation. I don't think any of the units have been told. Like I said, you haven't announced any of us to the PD. So even if I chipped in and said, actually, this is a CID operation, I'm pulling everyone out, I probably would have gone, no, I'm going to say it open on the highest on duty by somebody else. So it was a losing battle that I wasn't prepared to face, especially
seems a bit like you've tried to just throw everyone there under the bus. If I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I just said on radio, I pulled CID. Well, what would I have done?
If you know that it's wrong doing it, you've decided to pull out yourself and your other officer so that you guys don't get a bollocking for it and leave everyone else to get the bollocking. That's what it seems like, because you, as I've just explained a minute ago, every officer knows or should know some sort of right from wrong, okay? But you guys are in a privileged position where CID are on top of the game. You know that. Not everyone may know that, but realistically, let's face it, common sense says that CID is at the top because they have a lot more privileges or they have a lot more abilities to do certain things, okay? So if CID was to come onto that radio and say, gents, ladies and guys, no, but what it does work is this common sense rule, and where I've stated from day one that we are a team and we work together and we always help each other out, okay? That's the basic rules of the PD. So if you turn around and gone, right, this is not right, we need to get out of here, you should be going onto the radio and saying, gents, or guys on this radio, whoever's on the island, I do not believe it's a good idea because we don't know what's in there. We haven't got authority and potentially not got a warrant to be here. So I would advise pulling out. CID are pulling out for that reason. I would advise everyone else to do the same before we get into trouble. That's what needed to be said.
Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? Hindsight's a great thing.
But the problem is hindsight is hindsight, but you are CID officers that should know the laws and should know right from wrong more than anyone else. And if for instance, something like that had happened and we're getting a bollocking, I'm pinpointing that down to CID due to the fact that, one, they knew it was wrong. They've pulled themselves out, but not pulled anyone else out to let them get the RAF. So I would be pinpointing that on CID and saying, you guys are at the wrong because you've just thrown everyone else under the bus.
Yeah, I must admit, sir, I agree with you. I agree with you. Common sense is great and hindsight is great. But I've looked through the documents when I joined the force. That yourself has written a cheat sheet which simply explains the most common rules that most officers should be able to know at their acknowledgement and in the force, and it clearly states that there's a section there that you can use to enter premises, but it's only for reasonable grounds. I wasn't leading operator. CID wasn't. We didn't make this plan. If it was, it would have been drawn up by myself, by Robbie, by Danny. That we would have had a warrant to hand to yourself. It wasn't. It was brought up to me. I wasn't the highest on duty. That was, I believe, either John or it was Jordan. They're the highest. They're above me. You just admitted to yourself just there, boss, that that CID should be the best top officers and people should respect us and should know that we are the top dogs in the legislation and should know our stuff. But they hasn't been informed that if CID say something, it's usually because they're doing it with the best interests. If I would have said, like I got spoke over by another inspector when I arrived on scene in regards to what I can and can't do. So at that point, my distrust and honesty and integrity was also put in the dampen because I was told not to do something which is in my job description of investigating certain parts of the island. And at that point, my distrust in this operation started to dwindle. Myself and officers broke no laws as of yet until they started to repel. But then again, that wasn't my call. That was a Trojan unit. And I'm pretty sure if the grounds of being a Trojan unit and armed responses, they should know when they shouldn't enter a property or to enter to save lives. That is the common knowledge of being an armed response officer, as they usually are going through doors first to protect ourselves as unarmed officers. So this one, I'm going to pass the book and say this is not on ours. I advised to myself openly that my CID are pulling out, and if that isn't common sense that this something shouldn't be done, that it shouldn't be done. But then again, I was spoken over to by multiple officers on radio, so I'm unsure as what I was meant to do, boss.
Okay, as you can see, Callum would be extremely good in a courtroom. I would argue whether dust is square or round. I think it's I'm going to be crude. I think it's a fuck up. Okay. But I think it's a fuck up that we've probably just about avoided getting sued over. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that was on there was a gentleman. I don't particularly want to go back there and apologise to them and try and find out any more, because if there is something going on there, then it would blow our cover. From what I'm getting from GC1, he's obviously informed us going forward that would be something that obviously if we view something as wrong and we just say, no, we're not having it. Advise them. We're all very polite in CID. That is half of our job, is polite, being able to talk to people, being able to discuss things and get things over coherently. So let's just take that on board.
I think it might be best, sorry to interject, Robbie, but it might be best if we just, from now, if any kind of plan of operations, that we make a warrant and it goes through Gold Command just to cover everyone else's back.
I mean, that is exact. I mean, like I say, I wasn't on shift, but if I had heard it, we wouldn't have been on the island. But obviously, I understand where you're coming from, Callum. I'm Delta 1, so obviously you didn't want to speak up to your higher ups in different divisions, if you like, the higher command. I take that on board as well. Obviously, going forward, if you feel that somebody is breaking the law, I would expect, same as if you were breaking the law or I was breaking the law and a PCSO came up and told me, I would take it on board. If they, like GC1 has just said, if they choose not to take it on board, then we're not sitting here getting a bollocking because we've given them all the information they need and require to go forward with this plan. If they choose not to listen, we've got a bit of more of a leg to stand on, because I've come here today thinking, fuck me, what's going on? And having explained to me by GC1, I haven't really got a bone here. I'm trying to defend CID and I will to the hilt, but I'm struggling to come up with something there.
I think it's personally, CID didn't break any laws. If you can announce, boss, to Chief Tom, if you can announce that CID can have that kind of privilege to other officers, that know if CID have the authority at any rank to speak up and say if something's wrong.
It's not necessarily having the authority. I've explained already. It's you're advising someone. You're advising it, just like we've explained. If I'm doing something and, like, for instance, a Lenny Cold or a PCSO comes up to me and says, Tom, I don't want to go against what you're saying or anything. I personally feel that we are doing this wrong, and this is the reason why. And I'll sit in and go, right, okay, a PCSO has just told me this, but if he's just explained it very well, and I actually agree with him that that's the wrong thing to do. Or I might turn and say, look, I appreciate what you've said to me. However, this is the way we do it. It may sound a little bit weird, but this is the way we do it because of X, Y, and Z. Then I would then take the blame for that if it went wrong, and he'd turn around and say, no, I told you, or whatever, you know, and vice versa. If I'd have gone with what he'd have said, because I was the highest ranking officer on and it still went wrong, I would obviously have to take the rack for that because the PCSO has told me something, I've gone with it, and it's the wrong decision. But that's the rank that I'm in for that responsibility. What I'm saying to you guys is quite simply that what you've just explained to me, that I've made a cheat sheet for everyone. I've told them that section 19 they can enter without permission or whatever, or section 17, etc. But we're talking about entering a premises here. We're not talking about an island. An island is a big place that could be. I would cover that, not necessarily just premises. I would say that's that's a whole new remit, or whatever the word that you want to say, and we don't know enough about that authority. We don't know who owns it, who's what. So that's why I'm saying, if you had the knowledge and you felt it was the wrong thing to do, you need to explain yourself why it's the wrong thing to do, and say, right, I don't want to go against you. However, for my protection, my safety and everything like that, I will be exiting the island because I don't want to, obviously I feel it's the wrong thing to do, and you explain yourself, and then you do them things. If he goes against you, bang, he gets a rap for it. But at the moment, CID haven't said anything.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was my jurisdiction. I didn't think that I could. It wasn't my operation. Obviously, I'm quite knowledgeable in the law and how things work. I didn't realise that if I can, was me to stand up to a higher ranking officer in credibility.
It's not standing up to him. It's just advising him that you don't feel it's the right thing.
Yeah, he come to me though.
But what I'm saying is, if you step on someone's toes for the right reasons, then I will back any officer, even if it's a PCSO, to high heavens, that if they feel something that strongly and it is the wrong thing, they have, even as you know at work, you can refuse under health and safety grounds to not work, and you will be covered under health and safety rules and regulations. Same goes for this in here. If someone's telling you to jump off a bridge and you don't think it's the right thing to do, you just advise them that you're not going to be doing it for the reasons. If they turn around and say, yep, fair enough, I got it wrong, let's go out, and you don't have to, brilliant. If they say, no, I want you to, and you pull out, then obviously, and it goes wrong or whatever, then obviously we can have that discussion and say why you wanted to. And then we have a nice discussion. But if that person is constantly still saying, no, this is the reason we should be here, and they've made a mistake, then they just take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Can I I am going to just vaguely defend my unit here. We are a new unit. We are an elite unit. And we are a plainclothes unit with a high knowledge of the law.
I just wanted to take the piss out of Callum for a little while, wind him up a bit.
And my officers
put him down a few pegs.
Haven't been as strong, forceful, if you like, because we don't want to come in and be the big I ams and start rubbing the other units up the wrong way, if that makes sense. New boys on the block. Who do they think they are coming in? Telling us blah 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 blah.
Met boss.
With Callum coming from the Met. So I did vaguely advise my officers this morning that we should go for a more measured approach, not be.
He does.
We don't want to be.
That's why you got to drop his ego down a little bit sometimes.
There's a few times when we've seen things that we've thought, okay. But let's nothing serious, nothing law breaking, but let's say procedural, that we probably should have stepped up and said something, but it was a little bit minor. But so that was be the only vague defense I can give is.
I can only hold my hands up, boss, and say maybe I could have said something, but I didn't want to. I'm very new to this force. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't know all these officers as well as you. You and well, both of you may know. I've come up from London, but I can only hold my hands up and say, well, next time I'll speak my mind and use the law to my advantage.
I think as long as we speak it in a calm, you're very good at articulating yourself. If we speak in a calm, measured, and appropriate tone, unless you're 100%. So them rappelling into a building, my would have been, we don't have a warrant for that. Let's get off this island. If they said we're going to do it, I'd have said, right, okay, well, I am giving you knowledge and half an order here that we do not have a warrant to enter that building. You are entering it unlawfully. Do you want to continue with this operation? My unit will be leaving the scene, as I do not think we have lawful rights to be here. And then if they carry on, you have given them, you haven't said a direct order, because a direct order means if they disobey it, then that's a little bit different, and that's an internal affairs. You've given them, and you can say, I'm giving you half an order or a mild order or some mild information that this is why, this is the reasons. And if you say it twice and they then decide to continue, or they go, you're not here to tell us what to do. If they come out with those sort of lines, it's a different conversation. We'd be sat in here with those heads of units going, right, my officers who are very well versed in the law and have a greater understanding of the law across all divisions, have told you that this is unlawful and you've still gone ahead with it, then it's it's a completely different story. I can see it from your point of view. It is difficult, And Swifty, again, he's only a sergeant, so I can see it from his point of view as well. But
do you know what this reminds me of, boss? Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you hear that that court case up north when they entered that building and there was a massive court case with the police?
I mean, I've heard a few of them where
it was a big one. It went to like the court. Oh, I'm only asking because it reminds me of that court case where it was the police and they had that lawyer and they went into the property. It was a massive court case. It was widely televised and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we remember how that ended, didn't we? So we don't want to get down that route.
Yeah, it was a sad day because obviously the police lost and it was quite. I was sat at home watching it, but that defense lawyer, God, he was good. I only speak on the court case. There was a person in custody today, GC1, that was asking for court and when court would be up because they were adamant they were not guilty and stuff. But I said them it would be a month's time. I didn't really know a figure.
Yeah.
But so, I just wanted to clear this up really because I just didn't want it to be a kind of issue. But as long as I'm holding my hands up and if we say that all warrants go through Gold Command now, then I'm happy for that.
I mean, I think you see.
It's tricky, isn't it?
I think if it goes, if we're going for a warrant, I don't know if Gold Command and Silver Command will be happy for us to issue warrants if they are absent and not present at scene or at present on shift, because what I don't want to happen is obviously we are present a lot in city and we are on shift a lot in city. Hang on 1 second.
My bad.
No worries. The thing that worries me is, say earlier when we were staking out that place. Do you remember 581, 582?
Yeah.
Callum?
Sorry. I had a someone in my head that is a woman who was badgering my head in.
Okay.
Can you repeat that for me?
So remember when we were at that place this morning, 581, 582?
Let me just look at my GPS.
When we were looking for the drug location, the information, the intel that we had been given, we had me and OP Power, plainclothes, and you and Mr. Swift in the car, suited and booted.
Oh, yeah. That was 607, 608.
So in that case, if we had seen information of toing and froing from that property, we'd taken photos, we'd got information, we could see they were clearly dealing drugs. I wouldn't at that stage want to wait and go and get a warrant and wait 2 days for a warrant to come back from
boss, you don't need
Gold
a warrant
Command.
For if it's an indictable offence, indictable meaning that it's arrestable on site, you don't need a warrant to enter a premises as long as it's worth arresting for. And you can do that under I think Section 18.
Section 18.
Yeah.
What I mean is, if we wanted to enter that property, maybe that's a poor example. But if we had means and grounds to enter a property and we've got to wait, say it's, 12 o'clock, and the next Gold or Silver Command is not contactable for 24 hours, and we lose that, I wouldn't want to make a rule that we would have to wait that 24 hours to enter that property for a warrant, when we have the grounds and the knowledge and the preparation to obviously write those warrants. Again, on the side note to that, if we
oh my God, you right?
What are you doing under that desk, Mr. Holland?
Okay.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Jesus.
Gonna call him. If we then
what was that about?
I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand. If we fuck up that warrant, and I have issued a warrant, and it's wrong, then on that side note, I would 100% take full responsibility for that and any disciplinary procedures that follow that. So, a sort of on my head be it thing, but I don't want us to lose a case because we've said in this room today that Gold Command have to authorise every warrant, and I hope you understand what I'm saying, GC1.
I think it's the comment of like I said, lucky enough, CID are all quite well versed in the matters of the law and what they can use and what sections they can go under. But I'm speaking as that we have built a case for a gang or for a property to be breached and seized, and that everything needs to go in there at guns blazing. We can't. Warrants can be done within a matter of hours if they're rushed and they know the right people. So it won't be waiting too long for a warrant. It just needs to be authorised by someone who is a high of command, that we're not tripping over our words. Because I'm sure that if this operation today, in his example, was GC1 was around and he started, his shift was allowed him to come on, and be given the reasons why they wanted to go on the island, I'm pretty sure GC1 would have maybe gone, it's not really feasible to do it, so I'm not going to authorise it.
I'm happy.
So with warrants, most of the time when you're wanting to enter a premises, you would have had enough evidence. That evidence isn't just the case of it takes 1 hour to get a bit of evidence and bang, you've got it. Because as we just explained with Section 18, if you're witnessing illegal activity that second, then you would go and do obviously you would go and arrest them on site. Now, what we're talking about is you guys putting together an investigation that you are trying to find a gang or drug lords or whatever it may be. You're going behind the scenes, working all this information out, and then obviously coming up with the perfect evidence to say this location here has the diamonds, the money pot, whatever you want to say. We need to be entering this premises to do that. That evidence there, that's going to take a lot of time to build up.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's going to take, it's not going to be the case of, right, we need to hit it now, because that's basically been like that for however long you've been trying to investigate it. So within that space of time of you needing a warrant, it's going to be authorised by myself, by GC2, GC3, or potentially either the Silver Command, being obviously Barnaby or Rizla. So they are, one of us will be contactable regardless, as soon or as close to as soon as you need it. And obviously these things are going to need planning anyway. So if you're turning around to us and saying, right, we've got location on this place, we're going to try and go for a warrant, you've already prepped us to say that we're going to get a warrant at some point. If we just keep up to date with you and find out the more information, you might turn around and say, right, we just need a little bit more information from you. We need this in order to authorize this warrant. These things don't take, a split second, and all of a sudden you need a warrant. It will take a little while. So 100% it will need to be authorized by Rizla at the very bottom of the ranking structure. And obviously they will all have to authorize it with enough evidence in place. Because at the end of the day, we have to... the mayor might come to us and say, right, you've just done a warrant on this place. Can I see the evidence to why you've done that warrant? And we have to justify that.
It's amazing.
Here he is. How are we? Nice to see you. How's things? And welcome, TT. Hope to see you.
Sorry, I'm just reading.
I'm glad to see you. Hope to see you. I don't mean that. Glad to see you. Obviously, just going into further a little bit more about CID. Obviously, it is a new.
So am I right in
division.
saying that in Section 18, you have to have somebody under arrest before you can enter the premises? That's what I'm reading from that.
Section 18 is so you would... Yeah.
So if we were to see people drug dealing and we arrested the suspect at the door of those premises, as he is under arrest, we can then enter and seize property within the property.
Sections...
that is what I'm getting from that. Correct me if I'm wrong. GC1 or
Mr. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? No wonder I was talking there. I was talking over. Hello? Okay. Server just went. I was gonna say, yeah, I thought it did because I was like, no. How are we? Nice to see ya. Next chat, I've got a cat fight apparently. Katana John, welcome in. How are we? How was your stream? Welcome in, welcome in. How was your stream? Let's just throw us on to just chatting for now. How are we? Nice to see you. How was the NHS today? Was it good? Was it really good? Good to hear. Good to hear. Shame the city just went down. We were just in the middle of a really good CID chat. Actually, I've not actually been able to get out into the city and do any sort of proper work so far, just because I've been catching up. I've been away for a few days due to football and working and stuff like that. And whenever I come back in, it's just catching up with people. So hopefully we can get the server back up as soon as possible. Let me just check what the staff chat's saying. Yeah, everything has been kicked out by a head pop. Just going to try and get the city back up and running. But it's funny. I just you guys probably just heard that that noise. My cat decided to chase someone out. There was another cat literally just sitting. Let me just throw that. There we go. That's better. There was a cat literally just outside my cat flap. And all of a sudden, I just heard my cat go absolutely ballistic. It's chased it out. It's chased it into a corner, pinned it in, and then the cat's like bolted over the back fence, and he's just bolted with it. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Bless him. You were so busy tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, I still am CC. Yes. Unfortunately for us as well. We're really busy as well because we're struggling to get the numbers in at the moment. We're struggling to get numbers into the city, so that's the only downside. I think we normally have about 7 or 8 officers on, which is not great, especially when we've got a city full of 120 plus. So, yeah, UK might be winning the Eurovision. Lauren, are you watching the Eurovision? Very strange. Good on them. Good on the UK. That's normally we get like 12 points from like you know, Ireland Italy, or something like that, and that's it.
Get ready to receive.
Let's have a look. Oh, we're second now. Serbia.
$110 points.
Not nearly as many as we were expecting.
Blimey, I can't believe that. We never normally win. Like, what's going on? We're so bad normally. That's fair play to them. I'm gonna keep that just there so I can see it. And let's get ourselves back in. Why not? How are you doing, Tom? Nice to see you. UK might be winning. Yeah, I can't believe that. That's incredible. We got something, yeah, we literally got like 0 points last time. I think we always stay on the second half of the table. I know that for certain. And I didn't even see his interview today. So was it, oh sorry, not interview. I didn't even see his song. Did he do well, did he? Had my interview, just waiting for train. Hello.
Well, before
oh nice
comes back, I interviewed and gave the job to 2 new PCSOs last night. A Mr. Rodney Trotter, sorry,
there you go,
and a Jay Baxter. Both very good officers. I couldn't enroll them because I do not have the power.
Yep.
If they are in city this evening, would you be able to enroll them onto the system so that I can get them trained up?
Yep.
That'd be amazing. Rodney Trotter, sorry, does long hours. So I've actually told him to not come on and do burn himself out. I've told him to take leisure time. I have questioned him because his brother
yesterday
is a Mr. Del
or the day
Boy
before,
Trotter, who is a criminal. So I did give him some quite heavy vetting.
Actually, I believe this is the wrong one. You were there by mistake, weren't you?
What was he doing? Certain situations, if his brother said something while he was off duty, or he had to arrest his brother, or anything like that. And in my opinion, he gave a very good account of himself. I said, "How does your brother feel about you joining the police force?" And apparently, his brother is in full support. Obviously, his brother's not his keeper, but I didn't want there to be bad blood with a PC coming in, PCSO coming in, and his brother kicking off and causing him issues that he felt he couldn't handle himself. So I believe they're around, hopefully, after we finish this meeting. We
no
might
problem.
be able to get him. Training-wise, I believe that obviously I think they're called SOs now, right?
Yes.
They don't carry a taser.
Nope.
And it would be really training on the van and the police radial menu.
Yep.
And is there anything are they allowed to put out all the traffic signs and all of that if needed and everything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Their job mainly is to obviously learn the ropes from everyone else, so do some ride-alongs. They also should be helping response to block off roads. They should be helping officers to process each other, process the people, I should say, not each other. And of course, attending banks, shops, wherever that may include a hostage, and they will be doing hostage collection. So you need to make sure you do the training on that, so they do them searching each other under Section 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, hopefully I can find an officer tonight who would be able to train them. I was thinking somebody from response, because obviously that'll be the first unit they go into. Another thing, while I've got you, I did want to see if you would be happy to authorize all PD members to get their DNA fingerprints and photograph uploaded to the MDT.
Absolutely.
I feel we should have a record of everybody. It might help us in the future.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I'll try and get that in place ASAP. I don't know if you'd be able to put a little announcement out to the whole team, just in case they think it's a little bit weird why are we asking and stuff like that. I know it should have been done at interview stage, which is done now, I believe. But yeah, I think we're fine with that. Do we know where Mr. Law is? Has he going back yet?
Just while you're looking for that as well, obviously, just to recap on what we've said, CID split into two different subdivisions. You know the officers who are going on what?
I don't yet. So as we're still a very, very small division and relatively new to the city, what I have done myself is I went to
ever since I've come on, guys, UK have not had any points given to them, so they keep dropping down.
I'm advising officers not to wear the same clothes every day, and also try to avoid, if you are in an unmarked vehicle, to attend anything that would compromise that vehicle or yourselves. I am also advising officers that if they are picking a path that day, that shift, they stick to that path. If they decide to, Callum does like having his vest on and being more of a present police officer. So earlier, me and Mr. Power, we were incognito officers, and we had Mr. Law and Mr. Swift as our backup as uniformed, well, I say uniformed, semi-uniformed, soft-marked officers in a vehicle. Once we get 2 more staff members into CID, or the city starts becoming more hostile, or we find that we've got stuff and we obviously need to
You've done an amazing job.
I don't know if you can hear this.
I'm going to try and arrange a meeting with the head of NHS.
Yep.
I have only met him briefly. His name is Frank.
Okay.
See if he has a department that can help us go on operations like that. If there is something big, so let's say this island at the moment, which we know nothing about, turns out to be something that we need to penetrate. I would try to enlist a secretive officer outside of everything. We could a trusted third-party informant, something like that, that we could have off the books, off the records, that nobody knows is anything to do with PD, and send them in, because obviously we are a small city.
Definitely.
People do get wind very quickly. We had an incident today where somebody who we'd never ever met before have actual runners around the city, and they knew just because they had runners Ukraine checks on all vehicles, they already knew who the officers were, even if not by face or voice. They had we have had a discussion about this, and we're proceeding with it. We're trying to proceed with stuff as covertly as possible, while also understanding that at the moment we are drastically understaffed, which is why I stayed on shift till 2 a.m. to try and get these two officers trained up. I do have another 2 that I'm desperately trying to interview.
We finished second. That's good though. Finished second. 466 points. They had 631. So that's decent though. We finished 7 points above third.
We will get something sorted relatively quickly in that respect. At the moment, we're just trying to do the best we can.
I agree.
With the limited resources. So,
I mean, if I have to, indulge into some funds and get everyone, passport stuff quicker, then that is what it is. But that's something that's to be sorted by myself. But all I can do is make sure the officers that are on are doing their job effectively, and obviously you guys
doing our best,
doing the same.
Yeah, we're doing our best, and there are other officers who are extremely incognito in Gold and Silver Command. If we did need to do a sting, they spend a lot of time obviously doing paperwork and running PD from up above in their office. They might also be an option that if we had gathered enough evidence and we needed to send an officer in, they would obviously be a trusted source to tap into.
Sounds good.
And use. If we go downstairs, we might have the 2 people. Let me see if I have their numbers. One second. Yeah, they might be downstairs. I don't know. I don't seem to have their phone numbers. So let's go and
Right, let me just double check in, because I don't have a phone on me, but remember that notes bug that I had the other day? I lost all of my inventory from it. I don't really care about anything other than my phone, because the phone costs like 500 quid, doesn't it, or something stupid. Wait for it. Oh, there we go, lovely. The door wasn't locking, I couldn't find my keys.
Oh, that's one thing. Is in our PD, whenever there is a tsunami, our upstairs door unlocks itself.
Which
so you
door?
know when you come in reception, and you've got the doors that take you downstairs, to the right of the reception desk, it's that door. Every time we come on shift after a tsunami, the door is unlocked.
So the door downstairs.
So the door, so basically you look at reception desk.
Yeah.
And then to the right of the reception desk, there's a double set of doors.
Oh, the one that leads into evidence.
No, just literally downstairs into the whole whole of the rest of our PD, because obviously upstairs is quite small, just a little reception area. And you've got a double set of doors which leads down into everything: custody, cells, evidence, and all of those lockers.
Show me.
The door.
Which door it is?
So it would have to be a CID station. Who's this?
Oh, right over there. Sorry. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Who's this?
It's Jay.
Hello, Jay. Perfect timing. Come through, buddy.
Oh, okay. Rodney's outside.
Oh, you've got Rodney as well?
Yep. He's
Oh,
outside.
fantastic. Come through, buddy. Come in. How are you?
Hello, guys.
Need a private chat with you and GC1, by the way. If that's okay.
Jay, Rodney, this is GC1.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He is big man, top man.
Top man. Small man.
Is this person just said hello to me stood in here?
I did, yeah.
I did. Oh, hi, Rodney. You're right. I forgot your name, sir. Sorry, I know your name. Is it Don Taylor? Don Taylor, right?
Reception.
I'm here, mate.
Oh, I see him there. Sorry, I couldn't see you.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
shit, he's there. Oh fucking hell. Hello.
I just heard someone say hello to me. And...
Yeah, that was me. I was just checking out.
Mike, has there got any response on at the moment?
I have no idea, mate, but I'm legit writing up probably the biggest investigation report that PD will ever see.
Right, okay.
I've got 8 fucking involvements, one suspect, one suspect who remains at large. I don't know his name.
Remember, damn Ukrainians.
But I've got Crow Black involved. He's
given
me a witness. I need to get Noah Williams, Steve Corsair as witnesses.
I've always said it from the beginning. No one likes UK anyway. So
Chelsea Rose and Trevor, who were the victims. I got a Mott Chino, Lewis Harris, and Dave Flopsy, who were present at the community centre where CP Bruiser was identified on Twitter. And we tried to go into the property. We saw a guy in a red, like a matching description of a red coat.
If you come with me.
We then tried to get a try to identify because I had not a Crow Black in my car.
Right, one at a time.
Because the uniform on the Twitter post that popped up, he couldn't identify that was him because he was wearing a hood.
Is that everything? Let me move it.
Right, you should both have.
And he's got at least.
Let me just double check. Are you both on as PCSOs?
Yeah, I think so. Fuck knows.
And he was there. Then we plead
PCSO, J Baxter, PCSO. Yeah, you have. You both got the role now.
Perfect. Okay. Am I still able to speak to you, Robbie?
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
If you're not busy, of course, because I know you're chief in that.
That's fine. I do need to get on duty very shortly because we've got like no officers on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I'll let Robbie go through the training with you guys. But yeah, 100%. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Does it need to be me and Robbie, or does it?
Yeah, it involves his department. Quite big.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't come through though.
What? Sorry.
This intel doesn't come through.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that.
You're part of the PD, mate.
I got £100 on my name. Look, come on.
Suited and booted and out of the streets. We're desperate for officers at the moment.
I could ask Lenny, and Lenny's a fantastic officer, and I think he'll be up for it.
If Lenny's happy to do it and you trust him.
Do you want to hop on? He's on Radio 1 now. Do you want to ask him now? Lenny, you here, mate? Hang on, mate. Give me a second. Come here to CK22. One second.
Countries around each other like to give the. Yeah, they do. Like it's always Sweden gives Denmark and Denmark gives Sweden the full top votes, that type of thing. And one year, I think, wasn't it the UK gave 12 points to
Cuddles?
I want to say like Ireland or to Cyprus or something like that, and we were expecting it back from them, and they never even voted for us at all. That was like a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Biggest cases at the moment I've ever done.
Right, hold on. Let me hurry these up.
Okay.
As well.
think they're having it.
Car park.
Guys, can we hurry this up? I need to get out on duty. Cool, right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right, do you want a quick chat before we go any further?
Yeah, if that's alright, please.
Cool. Rodney, can I just ask you to step out a second for me, please?
It's nothing bad, but
it's just because I'm trying to do this MD2.
yeah, if that's
Yeah,
alright,
please, Rodney. Thank you. I've got Lenny
CK22 in the building.
Okay,
hello, mate. If you just step into reception, mate, they'll be out shortly. Cheers, mate.
Alright.
Right, what's going on?
So, I've been speaking to some people, and I've found out the location where people buy the weed and the pots and the fertilizer, and I found the weed processing area with the postcodes of each. So I don't mind handing that information over to you guys if you want it, because it might help.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, you know, it'll be nice. So I'll do it for free.
Well, that's good of you.
Yeah.
Good of you, seeing as you're going to be a police officer.
Exactly. I don't really want to fuck up my chances here. Right, you ready?
Give me 1 second, just open my note. Right, mate.
Yep. So first postal for the weed processing is 7. Very large grid takes you to an island. Past the shop on the island, up the road there's a house with a pond. If you go into that house, there's the
slower,
processing.
mate. A little bit slower.
Oh yeah, sure. I'd speak too fast.
Try to type.
What pieces are you? So if you look at my about section,
so
you'll be able to see everything that I have, literally from keyboard to the lot. I actually have a custom built PC. It's a Ryzen 7 with a 2070 motherboard. Sorry, graphics card.
If you've got that.
And it's got all Corsair
fans
and all sorts. So yeah, it's in the about section. At the bottom, if you scroll down, you'll see everything. I don't know if I've got a command for it.
Called medical weed, like marijuana.
Yeah, there you go.
Medical weed.
Yep. So that's where you get the weed and everything from. Postal 693 for that.
So, follow-on question: how did you acquire this information?
I was taking my flight in, and I was speaking to someone, and I was like, "Oh, look, I'm doing hunting right now, but where would I find such and such or any like locations of such stuff?"
Unbelievable, Jeff!
And he just told me.
Please, thank you ever so much for the follow and for obviously coming in and saying hello and obviously asking the PC.
Good job.
Hope you're having a great Saturday.
You guys with your investigations.
That's brilliant. Tom, have you enrolled them onto the?
I have. They're all good for you to go.
So Lenny Cold is going to do their training now. If you're happy.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. I need to get out on duty anyway for a little while.
I mean, I'm not going to be on shift much longer, mate.
No, nor am I. I just need to refresh the legs.
Yeah. Right. Hello. CK22, are you on radio?
Rodney's uniform on.
They might be downstairs.
Whereabouts are you, mate? Are you in the?
Door not locked. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are we?
All right. How about yourself?
Good, thank you.
Good.
$116 salinity. Good, thank you.
Are you on radio?
I am.
Are they allowed? The SOs allowed batons and a torch?
Yep, correct. Everything but a taser.
Or they do not carry anything?
Sorry, say again?
SOs, baton, yes or no, torch, yes or no?
Yes to both.
Fantastic, thank you.
How are we?
Good, mate, you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good.
Good to hear your voice again.
And yours?
What's going on then?
There's a carjacking.
Let's go to that then. What's this?
Well,
up
there
here?
was a carjacking.
Look up ahead, 2 people running. Be advised, we got 2 people running from a carjacking team. We're just gonna have an ask.
They started on us. They started on us, so we fucking knocked them out and just left them there because he started.
Currently unavailable as I'm typing up this very heavy.
Bro, can you see that on my forehead, bro?
Very urgent. I will.
Bro, he headbutted me, bro.
I know who that is. I know who this officer is. Is that Tom?
Yeah. Who's this? Sorry.
Oh, I'm Jackson.
Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Oh, no, you asked for a punch. Sorry, bro. So yeah, what happened, officers, is we was just walking past, and those guys, they've always been getting out of their cars and just started hitting us. So we've just kind of did self-defense and fought back, obviously.
Bro, he headbutted me, bro. Can you not see the middle of my forehead? It's got a dent in. I was gonna go to the hospital after, bro.
I mean, I'm a little just confused why people just jump out their cars and start.
It's because I wouldn't upgrade the vehicles because they were too poor.
Right. Okay. Obviously, it still doesn't, give you the right to, beat people up. But
well, no, they came
if
at
they're
me.
coming at you, then self-defense and all that. Like, I get that element.
I punched them once. I said stop fighting me, and then he didn't. So I knocked them out as like I didn't want to do any much harm. So I just did a 2-punch knockout and then continued my day. And then more folks started joining in. I was like, all right, assume a massive role at this point.
What did you say? Your name was Jackson?
Jackson Tengen.
Perfect. Give me a second.
You come from overseas, mate?
I think so. I think we both do.
Yeah, man. Fucking hell, man. My head's cold, bro. It's a cold, frosty morning.
No wonder, Mr. Clean.
Wow. It's a nice car you got here, folks. What is this? S5? S3? Yeah, I see.
Okay, and what was the other gentleman's name?
Oh, I don't know his name.
What's your name,
I'll be
please,
real. I've just came off a flight, bro. I haven't been able to go get my.
Oh no, you get one off the plane if you press your one muscle. It should show your ID.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nah. There's nothing. There's nothing there.
Do you not know your own name though?
Pardon?
Do you not know your own name?
Oh, my name's Billy. I know my name, but I was gonna try giving you my shit, just like Jackson did. But yeah.
Okay.
It's Dougie.
What's your full name, please, Billy?
Hey, it's Billy. Billy Green.
Billy what? Sorry.
Green. Green.
Are you sure, fella?
Yes, mate.
Doesn't seem.
I don't have anything in my pockets or anything, man. Like I haven't been to like the city hall or anything like that.
You don't have anything in your pockets whatsoever.
Nah.
So
you should search and find out.
Yeah, like you can search me, bro.
Right. Okay. So the problem I have here is, I'm trying to get you away with, walking away from here scotch free.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
You're giving me a name that has not come through in our system.
I haven't.
Ignore this. Ignore the hammer. Don't worry, it's for work.
Oh. I haven't been like anywhere to get it down because I've just came from a new city. I came from London.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
I've been abroad to stand in Spain.
I appreciate that, but obviously you've come in by flight, haven't you? So you've obviously gone through our border control. Border control has obviously taken your details down and obviously put it in the system.
Okay.
That name that you've given me has not come up in our system.
You see how Jackson said that it should have been in my back pocket. I ain't got anything in my back pocket when I flew in.
That's understandable. I get that. But right now I don't. So you've flown. How have you got here in the first place? Or firstly, how do you spell Billy without sounding stupid?
Just the only way, basically. B-I-L-L-Y.
Oh, so there's two.
Wow, there is two. Yeah.
I like Billy Eilish or whatever fucking name is.
Yeah, that's my bad.
What do you want from me?
You say your name is Billy Green.
Yeah, just like the color green.
Unfortunate last name.
AJ, welcome in. How are we?
That's why I wear the.
Do you know why they call him Billy Green? Because he smokes marijuana quite a lot. and he's got no beard.
I know. I need to go to the hairdressers, mate. Honestly, like that's literally what I asked this fellow here.
Right. Okay.
Where the hairdressers is and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of struggle with this. So what we're gonna have to do, okay? I'm gonna ask you to jump in the back of the vehicle, and we're gonna go down to the city hall, okay? Just to find out your documentations and get everything set up for you, okay? Because you know, I don't.
Do you want me to come hold your hand, Billy?
Nah, bro, I'm a big man, mate. I just could you drop me off to the hairdressers first, boys, so I can go to the hairdressers.
What we'll do as a nice genuine thing, we'll go down to the city hall first. We'll get that sorted, and then we'll go down. We'll leave you at the hairdressers.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Cool.
Can I get a lift? Because there's no
So,
taxis down to
just for
MRP costumes.
Unfortunately, not.
Fuck.
Okay, so just for the purpose of you getting in the back of our vehicle, okay, I will be giving you a little pat down just to make sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we do check our vehicles, so if there is anything left in there,
The only thing that I've got, as I said,
okay.
like I didn't have anything in there. I just took my mask off and put it in my back pocket. That's it. That's all that's in
Question:
there.
How do you lose your ID? That's my question.
So when I flew in, my head popped like everyone else's did, and it kind of did something to me.
I love that.
It kind of did something to me where, like, I don't know. The government was trying to fix it out, and
the government robbed them.
I'm sure we got papers at the city hall that can clear that out for us. So if you want to jump in the back of the vehicle, you are clean.
All right, bro.
And we'll get
Thank you,
down
Jackson,
there, okay?
mate. Appreciate yourself.
Wait, before you go, Billy, give me your contacts.
I don't have a phone.
Where's the city hall?
It'll be there when you get one. Don't worry.
Did you get that then?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right, catch you soon, Jackson. Appreciate yourself.
See you soon, brother. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
It's a bit of squish back here, boys.
It's yeah, it's a nice, comfortable ride though. It's squash but nice. Doug, I'm going to authorize it as a blue light request, please, just so we can, due to the officer amount that we've got on. Just buckle up in the back there, please, fella.
Got you. Appreciate yourself.
It is GMP badge. That's correct. Yes, we are in Manchester Roleplay.
I was told
Greater Manchester Police
by government about it because I might have had to make a new get surgery with a new brain. So
okay, that's fine. Well, hopefully this will clear it up. If it doesn't, then obviously we'll get that. You might need to make a lottery number.
Yeah. Because that's what I mean. I was in the process of doing it, and then I was told that it might like me popping, like it kind of messed it up. So it just to get back in contact with them if it does mess up again. So
that's fine, no problem. If you want to follow me for that, and I'll we'll get this done as sharply as possible.
Cheers, mate.
Can I ask why you have your lights on?
How long have you been on duty for?
Seems like a lifetime, but a couple of hours.
Ah, fair enough. Not too bad then. How long have you been on the force for?
I've been in the city since Tuesday, really, but obviously I come from elsewhere, and I've been 11 months.
Yeah, man. I understand that. Oh, 11 months. That's solid work there.
Yeah.
What rank are you?
I'm the chief, mate. I'm the chief of PD.
Oh wow, yeah, so you're pretty high up, to be fair.
Oh wait, what?
Appreciate you helping me out with this as well.
Buddy. We just get into the city hall.
Yeah.
Tom, what are you doing? 1,000 bits.
Oh, that should have.
What are you doing?
And then, oh, not that one.
Sorry, it might be your second index finger that might be where it's landed. There we are.
There you go. So I'm gonna have to get back in contact with them.
Right, that's why I couldn't find you.
No, that my head popped. I'm gonna have to get back in contact with one of the governments about that.
Right. Okay. So it'll be the case you need to speak to the city hall about changing their name back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Let's head back to the car and get you to the salon.
Yes, sir.
OP man, how are you doing? Behave yourself. A level 2 hype train. What is going on?
There's a bus parked out front.
Sheesh. Guys, thank you ever so much. So much appreciated. You didn't have to do that. And you gifted the sub to Calculated as if he's not subbed already.
I can make,
that's terrible.
I can make my way with it if you want to like team up for yourself.
Get 2 people.
I mean, if you've got the capacity to get there yourself, no problem.
I'll be able to get there. Yeah, I've got Jackson's number now, so.
No worries. Well, you have a safe journey, and we need to catch up.
Yep.
Thank you.
One's female, one's male.
Right, let's head to this. Hello.
You need assistance here? You want me to go after the guy?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I thought
we were getting bored there, mate. Obviously, we were just like on.
Hold on 2 seconds, mate. I think I've got the issue in my ears. 2 seconds. What are you doing, Tom? Behave yourself. You're teasing me now. Behave yourself. Are you flirting with me? Sorry, fella. I think that's sort of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just for you, mate. Can I ask why you had your lights on and not going to a car?
The reason was we had something quite serious to attend to in the City Hall due to the widespread that we've got at the moment in the city. We're obviously authorising certain things that has to be get there quicker, if that makes sense.
No, it's all right at the moment, bro. But
cool. Let's go.
Who's this? Yeah, man.
What? Here he is. Cal is, instead of subbing, he's coming with the 500 bits. Thank you so much, Cal. Much appreciated as well. Well done for all of you tonight. It was really good to have that chat with you, and obviously speak to Callum and tell him where he's gone wrong now and then. I'm sure he didn't like it. I'm sure you didn't like it. Naughty boy, stop flirting. You massive people lover, thank you. Yo, is it hard to get into PDL? It's Freddie, it's...
I've got no road.
Yeah, well, I think Dougie's having a bit of a... No worries, mate. Do you need me to drive?
No, it's come back now.
Ah, perfect. I was going to say, we didn't hit the bollard, the car, and the other thing back there. It's all good.
Unbelievable!
Freddie, it's one of them ones. It's not hard to get in. If you apply, obviously you may get an interview. And then obviously, yeah, you get accepted in. So just make sure you put a little bit of effort into the application and you'll get offered for an interview. And then once you're in the city, you're up and running. So yeah, it's not very hard to get in, but yeah, why not give it a go? You're definitely flirting with me now, Tom. Stop flirting. You can make you blush.
Wow, I'm actually doing well here.
You are. Incredible. Thing is, I can just imagine exactly what you lot are doing right now.
Until that.
No, that's not your fault. Don't worry. When was level 4 a thing? What do you mean level 4? As in level 4 hype train? Oh, my... Since you lot have been flirting with me, it's all of a sudden gone, oh, let's put ourselves up to a level 4 hype train. It actually goes up to level 5, would you believe? DC2 Callum donated as well. No way, Callum, what's going on? And George coming
Always
in. Always
remember, Callum is king, and he will go to Manchester to court and call you out to make it 2-0.
You guys are too good for flirting with me now. And George coming in with the 1-2. What? What is going on? Thank you so much. I can't dance, I will embarrass myself dancing right now. How are we? Thank you ever so much again, OP, coming in with the gifted sub as well. Stop it, guys. You're gonna make me blush. Oh, another shop robbery. Is this a shop robbery attending to?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Currently here.
Station wagon, leaving the scene now.
This isn't even as... the shop's further up. I will go to that one if needs be. Just head to the... It's there, I think. Oh no, what's that? There is a shop up here. Yeah, what's that blue? Just on 060. Yeah, definitely, Freddie. If you are a police officer in real life as well, it'd be brilliant to have you. I mean, there's a few actually, like Callum himself is a police officer that comes in the city and plays. No, not that one. No.
Speeds are 85.
But yeah, 100%. It'd be well worth you having on if you know the rules and know your stuff anyway.
Right now onto Alta Street.
You need to get out. That's why.
Now headed north. Speeds of 5'8".
I can't.
Between 5'8" and 6'0".
F and B at the same time. Just keep doing it.
Continuing west now.
Let's get back.
Going past RAC. Speeds upwards to 100 miles an hour now.
How are we? You look. I could just imagine you're sitting there.
Taking a right.
You can just imagine you sitting there like cool.
Continuing northwestbound, taking another right.
You wanna know what G stands for?
Continuing northeastbound, taking a left. Oh. Continuing. Taking another right.
Are you doing while you're
spin out?
Playing the saxophone while you're flirting? You lot. And you're trying to be anonymous about it as well. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. And the saxophone, appreciate it. Yeah, Freddie, definitely. If you're a police officer, hopefully you're not like Callum. No, absolutely. If you are a police officer, you'd be more than welcome to just get that application in, or drop us a DM, something like that. If you have got Discord, feel free to join my personal Discord. We're all in there. You can chat away, you can ask the questions, and obviously get help trying to get into the city. We also are football fans. We're
right in front of McDonald's.
Sport fans in general. We do other stuff as well. We got
another right head back south.
Taking
a right into an alleyway.
Rooms, stuff like that. Escape rooms, I should say.
Straight across to another alleyway.
We do all sorts of things.
Taking a left.
And we've just completed a level 4 hype train.
There's postal 623. Continuing south.
9 sub gifts and 2,400 bits. What are you doing to me? Thank you ever so much. You know, next time you just ask me out for a dinner. That's all you need to do.
Up over 100.
You don't have to, pay your way to get me to come out for dinner. But yeah, 100% Freddie. It'd be really good to meet you, and of course try and get you on
the scene. Right now, and there's postal 736.
Oh, these lights are a bit scuffed now. He's just been hit. Problem is, all of this scuffing is all due to the fact that Dougie's eyes aren't very good at the moment. Nothing to do with the fact that he can't drive.
717. Headed southwest on San Estrada Avenue.
Did I just hear again?
Taking a left.
You're paying me a
Bay City Avenue.
Alright, fair enough. Fair enough, if that's the way you want to play it. So yeah, the lights on this is a little bit scuffed. That's purely because what happens with the cars when you build the cars, and I'm saying this because I built the cars. When you build cars, you put like sirens on the right place, and they sit on the car. But if you were to have a crash, sometimes certain cars, if you've smashed it and it's now the whole car
headed back north,
is moved over slightly because it's been hit, the lights will move with it, and that's why you can now see the lights
left onto Prosper.
Because look how bad
in the canal, taking a right into an alleyway.
But unfortunately, the lights don't just disappear. but it depends on what car it is. Everyone knows it sincerely. Yeah, Freddie, to be honest with you...
this is so confusing.
We've done a lot of work. Callum, what's up?
Apparently there was a shop robbery here as well.
Now
We do
swerving
need to
all
go
over
to
the road.
RAC. If we head to RAC first,
Going
just
past
left.
construction at this time.
Just because the
Headed
car's not
eastbound.
looking very good.
Beachy Boulevard. Taking a left now. Spinning out a little bit. Try to get a box spot.
I'll jump on the radio.
Now headed south on Elgin Avenue.
PD to RAC, you receiving?
If you're looking for me still.
I will be at some point, yeah, if you're free. But I am at outside your compound. Just need a fix if possible.
Roger that. I'm just turning one of your vehicles back to workshop just now.
Fantastic, thank you.
Just who is this? Tom, right?
It is, yeah.
Tom, right now I'm at MRP Customs. So
where's the
wait,
shops to get food from?
if you need me like right after, just meet me up here. We'll talk.
Yeah, no worries. We've it's not urgent at the moment. We've just got quite a lot going on at the moment, so no problem. I can wait.
All right, pal.
Fantastic. See you shortly. We're currently out of pursuit at the moment at RAC, just waiting for RAC.
Received. Nearest postal 67.
Is there a way I can turn the volume down on these sirens?
Current speeds are
no,
9,
unfortunately
5.
not.
Still continuing northwest on Poplar Street. Now it's taking a left towards NHS.
I'll be getting that changed.
Yep, taking the left towards NHS. We're fixing to be going by NHS now.
I don't think RAC need to be having sirens on. Sean, you receiving?
Tom, I am.
Can I just confirm that we shouldn't be using sirens for RAC vehicles? I will try
I am not 100% sure on that. If you could find that out for me, please.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
fine.
sure.
I'll get the mayor to try and get that fixed, but obviously sirens should be limited to PD and NHS only.
Yeah.
Lights, no problem. Just sirens, not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't use mine, so I'm not 100% sure.
No worries.
So that's why I just don't use. I'm just going by the same rules that I was at my last city. So yeah.
Stuck on, I'm afraid, guys.
No problem.
Okay.
Hello, mate. You right?
Continue into the hills now, and there's postal
Just get them
5.
sirens turned
1,
off.
2.
That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, no worries.
On North Bay Tree Canyon Road now, still continuing. Braking.
Try turn your alt.
Postal 509.
If not, there you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Traffic is at medium.
There we go. Sort you out and I'll sort this out.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, what can I do?
Braking, taking the left at a house.
Could we have this fixed if possible, please?
Continuing straight on.
Yeah, can you switch on for me, please?
Nearest postal is 501. Make it staying right.
Ah, that's brilliant, thank you. I'll take it in the
Yeah,
shop.
it doesn't, Jordy. It
65,
doesn't, mate.
65,
It's
braking,
Dougie,
making another
unfortunately.
Right. Nearest postal 494.
Dougie's head obviously had a few head issues,
Still
so
in the
he's
heels.
he doesn't think he's hitting anything
In
in
the
his eyes.
left now,
but
headed
in our eyes,
southbound.
yeah, it does.
Nearest postal is 478, taking a right. Car is currently all
See
over
how
the
much
road.
this is going to cost us.
Braking, decamp, postal 472.
I do not get them for free anymore.
Well, no, I believe RSC have to pay for them, but that's one of the things that I was going to speak to Sean about. You know, I don't expect to have them for free, but I don't expect to be paying anything more than cost.
Unbelievable!
You know, we want to help each other out.
It's amazing!
Just
Just
Mods,
curious,
welcome
don't
in.
have
How
any
are we?
food or drink, do you?
Let me have a look. I don't know. Yeah, I will need to go as well. I don't know if McDonald's or Subway's open, but I do need to go myself.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
You have RAC cover as well, do you? Nice. And there comes the follow bot. Let me just turn my alerts
Unbelievable,
off.
Jeff! It's amazing! Unbelievable, Jeff!
I mean, you better not charge us for that one.
Good morning, Scouser. Here we go.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Would not be a Scouser.
Unbelievable,
Yeah,
Jeff!
grow up, lad. Exactly.
It's amazing! Unbelievable, Jeff!
Very sad, really, isn't it? Johnny Sins, Johnny Sins, Johnny Sins, Johnny Sins. Interesting. I am from Bedfordshire, so Luton. Luton's my home team for football.
Can you send me contact details, please, officer?
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Ryan, how are we? Nice to see you. Welcome in.
Then I can send you a bill.
You would if I could get it to work.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Telephone number or
if you flex your Z muscle and just share your contact details.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Thing is, it doesn't really bother me because you know, with alerts, it's unfortunate that anyone does say anything.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
Thank you very much.
Amazing!
With obviously people alerts or whatever like that.
Unbelievable!
At the end of the day, you know, unfortunately, you guys don't get to see your own alerts. But Twitch,
of course,
ban the mods or the what do you want to say? All these accounts within 24 hours anyway, so it's not the end of the world.
No, that's fine.
I think everybody is.
Unbelievable, Jeff! It's amazing!
Why is that?
There we go. Dougie Johnson.
Oh,
as a repair.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
44.
It's amazing!
For that, I'll send that across just now.
Unbelievable, Jeff! It's amazing!
Just Gaze, I appreciate you coming in with a $5 donation. Yeah, it's one of them ones, buddy. It is one of them ones. People sit there, have a sad life. It's not the problem.
If you go into your
unbelievable,
bank,
no worries. Take care.
Amazing.
It is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, can't do anything about it. But, you know, that's why Twitch come in next day and delete everyone. So take it for the 5 minutes that it's here, and then you move on.
How many did you sent me loads?
It's amazing.
But whoever you are, have a nice life. See you
paid
around.
1, 2, 3,
That's it.
4, 5. 6,
Unbelievable,
7.
Jeff.
There we go.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Hold on. Thank you very much.
No problems. Thank you.
I just want to know how my I've deleted my alerts, but it's still coming through.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Strange, really.
We need a shop, Tom.
Just do that.
Unbelievable, Jeff. It's amazing. Unbelievable, Jeff. It's amazing.
If I do that and do that, session restarted.
Unbelievable, Jeff. It's amazing.
I fixed it. Yeah, I think I fixed it.
Do you know where the closest shop is?
Yeah, if I'd probably say That one.
Cool.
Toma, how you doing? We had a follow bot come in, so I don't know if I can clear the chat like that. I know, Freddie, I know. Unfortunately, you got follow botted, so let all of that go, and we'll continue. But yeah, as I was saying previously, if you are... Oh, yeah, we need to go to that, but let's go to the shop first. Let's blue light it to... Have you got enough to get by the shop, or...?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, just when we're under a mile, just keep sirens off. Whenever you're under a mile, keep sirens off. Sorry, not sirens. Yeah, sirens. Sorry, not keep your lights on, but just turn sirens off because they won't hear us then. We do have a shop right outside as well, which is good.
Cool.
GC1 and Romeo 1 State 5 to this latest shop burglary.
I'm just currently with learning the TP systems at the moment. I will be out. I've just finished updating the MDT for the ongoing investigation.
We have 2 suspects outside.
You're alright? He's okay.
Hello guys, you alright?
I'm alright, mate. How are you? How are you?
Yeah, good. What's going on here?
What do you mean? I'm just waiting for the fucking mate, me. It's fucking why?
Right, okay. Well, firstly, you're just literally walked over a lady that looks like she's quite hurt on the floor.
Don't see no one in my ass.
Yeah, just fucking... So I don't know what you're on about, mate, to be honest.
Right, okay. Obviously, do you... is there any reason why you're here?
Yeah, I've just told you I'm waiting for the mate. He told me to meet him at this location, so I was like, okay, then so we'll wait till outside the house.
Okay, and is your mate inside the house, or...?
No, he told me he'll meet me here, so he's on his way.
Right, okay, and you haven't tried
should be
to
anyway.
Knock on the door or come anywhere near the door at all?
Knock on the door?
Yeah.
Nope. Can you even knock on the door?
I don't know, you tell me. I've literally just attended it. What's happened is we've had a bit of a report of a... sorry, someone's attempted to force their way in. And obviously we've turned up and you two are standing literally by the door.
Okay, yeah, I understand. But are you sure it's this house? Because there's many other houses on this block.
Yep, I believe when we set our GPS and our dispatch radio through, it was this house indeed.
Okay, well, fucking obviously I understand that, and there's going to be a lot, well, let's say coincidence, shall I say, because wrong time, wrong place, or something like that.
No, I'm not seeing anything in the maze. They might have continued to run down the hill.
Like, you know, either he sent me to the wrong place, or I've been set up here, or it's just, you know, it's generally, you know, mad coincidence, bear with.
So while we're at it, if I get my officer to just take yourself, and then I'm going to take yourself over there. So obviously because you're in the area of this call, and you were standing literally at the door, because we've had the report of someone attempted to break in, we will be detaining yourself just for the purpose of a Section 1 search.
Okay, well, can I just go grab my ID from the car?
No, you can't. At the moment, like I say, you are being detained for a Section 1 search. So for the purpose of this, okay, we will be searching yourself. Hold on, Dougie, go after him. Okay, obviously I presume you're not going to run because I will just grab your arm. I don't want to do anything that we don't need to here.
I haven't done that, mate, so you should be
exactly, yeah. As I say, under Section 1 of the PACE Act, I will conduct a search, okay? Just to prove that you've got nothing on you. Are you okay at the moment?
I'm at the bottom of the ladders. He's gone up to the top of the building on Mirror Park Boulevard. He does have a knife.
Receive. The other guy's running as well. He's coming down to you.
Lads, where are you?
Watch yourself going up there, Tom.
I want to be flat.
I tackled him, man. Yeah, he's jumping down. He's jumping down the other side. Hands up, hands up. Oh, he's running. Oh my god, fuck. Ow. I'm feeling a little bit... Fuck, man. Can I have any backup, please? Can I have some backup? Mirror Park. There's a car that's two people trying to flee. And he's running across the road now. I'm struggling to get down from this location. He's running into the car park at Mirror Park.
FiveM, I'm currently on my way. I do have one stinger with me at the moment in time as well.
Received. He's currently outside the shops as we speak. I'm struggling to get down. Like he's hurt as well.
22 blitzing down to your location right now.
Received. He's currently hiding as we speak. He's now running down. Oh, he's going back. He's definitely still in the car park. He's wearing a black top with a afro style hair. Straight over there, straight in, do a right into the car park, and you see him behind a pole. Keep going up. He's behind the 2 poles up. 2 poles up. Keep going along the straight straps. You can see him running.
Needs radio. Trying to positively get.
I have Buggy down at the top, so I'm going to have to get NHS.
Car here to pick him up. He's getting put in a Golf. This one just came out of custody as well, out of the impound.
Any more additionals? I'm having to jump over to radio because I have an officer
car.
down.
Left from the petrol station.
PD to NHS.
Go ahead.
Can I have immediate assistance at Mirror Park, please?
Yeah, on the way.
573. I've got an officer down who's fallen from height.
Yeah, we'll send a unit out to you now.
Thank you. Dougie, stay with us, mate. I've got to try and work out how we get down from here. So I didn't want to jump just
getting on that, John?
He did a jump, and I don't really know.
Jump.
I don't really know. Is there a possibility that you have helimed in the air? Or
No,
anyone
we
that's
don't.
helimed trained?
I am helimed trained, but we can't use heli because of it's dark.
Is it what? Sorry.
You need a lift, boys.
We're not permitted to use helis during the night.
I do, but I can't get down here, mate. I need MPAS out if needs be.
Yeah, I'll go
right,
get
okay, I'll have to try and get MPAS out then and get us picked up because we can't get down from the roof. There's no physical way without jumping and potentially breaking legs.
I could park up the Ambo underneath the building, see if it's high enough. See if you can jump on it.
It's quite a height. I wouldn't want to risk it with someone on my shoulders.
Would you like some additionals, John?
Yes, possible, please. 573.
I've got an officer going to get MPAS as we speak.
Okay, roger that. Just make sure he's breathing. Just make sure he's comfortable while we wait.
Yeah, received.
Is there a way for me to physically get up there by myself without,
Without trying to break your legs yourself? No. We unfortunately took a tumble off the roof, chasing a suspect, not realising the height that we had done.
Roger that, okay.
Stay with us, Dougie. Where's your pain, mate?
In my legs.
In your legs, okay, no worries. You've got some wounds here, buddy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and take off my top just to give you a little bit more comfort, okay?
No, Robert. So
Okay.
I will see you later on.
Thank you very much,
No worries, Robert. Good job today.
Thing is, right, he's stuck. See that little like roof thing? So I think they go there to there. Now they can't get down. Just hang around here just in case anything changes. I'll just park up. Yeah.
I'll just be heading back to Radio 1 just to get MPAS down on the right area, okay?
Received. We'll have a unit on standby at NHS ready for your arrival.
Thank you. How are we looking at MPAS?
Just lifting off now.
Fantastic, thank you. How you doing, Southern Tom? Nice to see you. Southend fan Tom, nice to see you. Welcome in. How are we? How's your Saturday going? How much did the setup cost altogether? Including my GoLXR, including my Stream Deck XL, about 2,200 in total. Stay with us, buddy.
It'll be difficult to land here, but we'll try it.
Received. Good luck.
I'd tell my alien kids I love them. Nailed that. Absolutely nailed it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Absolutely nailed that landing.
What? Oh no!
Major accident.
Charging units are still unavailable in the scene at the maze.
Wow! I never even pushed anything.
GC1 is down. GC1 is down.
I never actually pushed anything. That's my first ever time dying as well. And I'm literally dead at this point. I am a Luton fan, yes, I am indeed. I've been a Luton fan all my life. I'm a home and away season ticket holder. I've been to 39 games out of 46 this year, or 47 now. Oh, thanks, yeah, what the fuck, man? I didn't actually push anything as well. Oh, no, we don't want that screen, we want that one. How am I jumping?
Just let me nail this landing again.
I was in my Z menu, so I was nowhere near my...
Pretty far.
Man, I'm gonna lose everything. I hope someone takes all my gear off me, you know, like just transfers it across and then gives it back to me. I'm definitely dead, yeah. I'm definitely dead. Dougie coming in with a raid. Let's go. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. I don't know. I literally...
Can I put him in the back here, or...?
Yeah, you can put him in, I don't know if it's 4 or 3 seated. Try get in the front here. You might have to do your ambulance. Do you have any slots?
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
I can come back anyway and
try and work out what's going on here.
Unless that nice gentleman wants to take
I had to get rid of my
yeah,
because I got follow botted quite heavily. How do I...
Romeo 2 heading back to NHS with 2 injured officers on the inland pass.
Making you all jump from radio 2 by any chance?
FiveM, mate.
How do I get my... I got my dashboard on. I can get my thing back.
I'm into line now, PG.
Digits, alert box.
Give us a second, I just can't hear because they had a helicopter.
There we go.
Don't crash.
God.
I'm dead, so whatever they do to me, I don't care because I'm gone. Alert box, here we go.
I'll go in and pound your ambulance for you, okay?
Thank you, mate.
Took me out.
So we then give this back.
Oh shit.
Export? No, it's browser. There we go.
Where's the other one?
I've got him. Unless he's respawn.
Oh, he's DOA. He's DOA. Oh, is it this one? Oh, okay.
Both of them are DOA.
Cool. There we go. It should be back now.
Yeah, I think it's just.
I don't want to become famous, unfortunately. No, I'm quite happy
no,
with what I am.
He's DOA, PG.
Yeah, I'm just getting him up,
yeah, sorry,
and then I'm gonna put him on a bed so he doesn't lose all his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they're gonna allow me to do that then.
I don't know. I don't know. He was with us, but he was dead anyway, regardless.
Of those people.
William, I'll be down to you shortly, buddy.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Well, that was rather embarrassing. Probably a good word to say.
2 minutes, buddy.
Well, there's me trying to help Dougie, and I die myself.
It was what I was.
Oh, you picked your PC? Wicked. Dougie, if you get a chance, I mean, watch where we get back to RAC, because the car definitely doesn't look like you fixed your PC. It was fucked. Literally, it wasn't very good.
No, they were all day away from a car.
I want to know how much that car cost you to fix as well.
There was 5
because
of them,
that's what I need to speak to Sean about. But I'm waiting for us to get there.
Rodders!
Cost me £44. Is that it?
Rodders!
Oh, that's good then.
Rodders, come in here.
That's good. If that's only how much it cost you.
Are you PD?
Good.
Oh, he's over there.
Rodders!
What happened to the officer?
Rodders, you PD?
No.
Go on, lad. PSSO, yeah.
What happened to the officer?
I was hoping I didn't have.
He fell out of a helicopter.
What?
Yeah. He fell out of there. Believe so, yeah.
Just to let you know, the ward is literally full.
Okay, now look at the board. Sheesh.
Wait,
I suppose it's a good.
all dead.
It's a good time at this point to pass off.
Farm area. Just seen
As a
some
new
guy
weed
pull
farm.
into the back of a house. He's gone straight to the back garden.
Pretty
He
good
seems
time
to
to
be like
fly out.
watering things or something, or placing
he
things
was
in the
still
back garden.
Just something, you know.
It's 371. It's the far left house. If you want to go and check it out, I'm just currently landing in fast now.
Let's give Sean a read, shall we?
Go check that out.
Yeah.
I think they can. That's.
Let's go give Sean a raid. Let's go give
Just
Sean a
dropping
raid.
an HS off back to
Guys,
Sam.
thank you so much for being
fell
here.
off the roof.
Can I just
Well, no, sorry, didn't fall off the roof. Fell out the chopper.
So tomorrow I'm working nights.
Basically,
Monday,
just seen 2 lads in a white car fly past me, saying you can't park there.
Tuesday.
So I
Tuesday
drove down the
night.
road into
Thank
the
you
back
firstly.
garden
Let's go
of
through
a house.
Dougie,
And
the
one of
raids.
them's got out the vehicle.
Thank you.
And has gone straight into the
Okay.
garden.
Thank you so much for the
And,
bits and the gifted sub. Sorry that
into
you've
the
given.
garden, and
Callum,
yeah, it
thank
just
you for the
looks
gifted
suspicious. He was
for
putting
the
things down, I think.
bits.
So possibly.
I mean, like you had to have yourself
weed
gifted
plant,
a sub,
maybe,
so
but it's in the back garden, so I might do
thank you
another
for the
sweep over
bits for
to
that.
get a
Firstly,
closer image
Tom,
in a couple of minutes.
like you've just flattered with
Get
me all
a
night, gifted me
photograph
subs,
of
gifted
the
me
guy in
bits as well. So
outside,
thank you so much.
they were in, like,
Thank
some
you
sort
to
of,
all
like,
the new
white vehicle.
followers. I'm not going to go through them all because there's
Just
shitloads
back
of them.
on radio 2,
The
when
fact
you
that it's
want
gone
to
through
do
there.
that. Give me 1 second.
Thank you
Can
to.
SOUs attend that area then?
Let me just go
Or
through
is it just-
here 2 seconds.
Blood's gone for me.
Did that do anything?
Callum again also for donating. Thank you so much. Freddie, look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Hopefully we can sort something out. And we've also got Keys for the resub. That's what I was going to say, for 5 months as well. So thank you so much. The game is on Monday night. We're playing Huddersfield in second leg. We are currently 1-1. So fingers crossed. But until then, guys, have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing you all in my Discords and chatting away in there. But until then, guys, let's go give a good raid to Sean and say goodnight. Take care all. Let's jump over to...
Lenny, come back on radio 2 and back.
Yeah, we'll see.